Good morning, traders. Who's ready to get back into the market? You guys know where you're at. It's time to get into trade the pull action. You guys see it. Trades all around and big swing trade. Let's get it started, guys. It's time for trade the pull. What's up out there, traders? Who's ready to get back into this market? I know I'm excited to take a look at what's going on, guys. We'll see what we get into today, but let's start it off first with what is going on in Intel this morning, as that was one of our top plays. Let's take a look at the action here. As you guys can see it, Intel, nice little move there, guys. I actually had to take some profits this morning. What? Yeah, I had to, guys. I woke up in the morning and I could see it up here at 33.50s. And I said, you know what? It's time to run to some profits. So this morning, getting some nice fills there, guys. I'll show you guys that right now. Let's get the kind of the filled trades here. There's the filled orders. Let's detach this here so you guys can see it here, guys. Taking some profits this morning and not mad at all, guys. Filled orders on Intel up there towards 33.52. Look at the morning. The high was 33.63. So not looking too bad at all here, as Intel making that move up there towards the 53s and being able to take some profit, right? I know I'm not upset about this move at all, as I see Intel continuing to push. We'll see what happens if it can get to the next layer. Of course, when I take a look at the daily chart, I can clearly see that we're starting to fill the gap. And I think this is important to take a look at. As you guys can see, the gap fill starting to get there. And this is an important outlook, because this is exactly what we drew here. We drew this on, when do we draw it? We drew it right there. Created it on the 21st, updated it on the 5th, and now it's starting to fill that gap. So where could we see this go to? 34.35. is going to be the next spot, right? Next spot where I could take some profits and then look for this to kind of get up there towards 40 and 45. This could be a complete trend change, and it could work its way back to 50. Now, of course, I probably won't be keeping it that long, as you guys know it. I like to swing trade and take the money as it starts to be available to me. And right now, this morning, being available. So getting that nice little profit. Next one, let's keep it going on the playbook. Next one up here is going to be, of course, another swing trade that we've been looking at, which is Palantir. Palantir this morning getting up there towards almost 28. You can see it this morning was up there towards 28.34. Not a bad move here. Selling some at the 28 mark this morning, right around 5:30. Sold some there at 28. Can't be mad about this one. Now the big levels for us to watch is the overhead supply as we get closer to the 29. So as we get closer to this 29.18, I'm going to be watching to see if Palantir can continue kind of a big cup and handle, essentially. You guys can see it as you scroll back here. There's the cup, there's the handle. Now we need to look to see if we get through this line. This has been a big line to look for, and we've been watching this move since the bottom. Right? I mean, look at the move now up there towards 29. We'll see if it gets through there, goes to the 30 and really starts to take off. But Palantir, what a great trade here, guys. From 24s, I actually added, so I have 25.20s now. But I got this on the pullback right here on the 24th when we got it at 24. Was looking to get back into this name as I was watching it start to get hot. This little pullback to the 9 really gave me an opportunity. Now getting up there, we'll see if this can continue to run. Good morning to you guys in the chat. What's up out there? Bullseye, Zap making some good moves, that's for sure. The market starts here at 6:30. 6:30, 5:30 p.m. Man, Mohammed, well, hey, maybe not good morning to you too, but hey, maybe good morning to you in the afternoon, right? Nate, what's up out there? Diego, what symbols are you guys checking out this morning? Keep throwing them up. We'll take a look at the chat. We'll keep going and taking a look at the chatter. Let's go to the next stock here. We've talked about this stock and this move before. Let's take a look at Google. Been watching to see what would happen with Google. Of course, you guys see some lines there, but we've been talking about how we've been looking for a 200 run as we keep getting what higher quality names that want to get to this upside outlook. Of course, we had Apple kind of make that big move through the 200, right? Microsoft has been hot. NVIDIA pulling back a little bit, but still loading up a little bit on Friday and Thursday. You can see how it's trying to push, but still not getting the next move. I seen Amazon make it back to 200. It's been there twice. Let's see if it can get it there. We were looking at this one on 190 push. We'll see if Amazon can continue to push, but Google definitely on the radar for the continued push. Now, one thing I will put on the radar is hourly pullbacks seem to make sense. So if I'm looking at the hourly pullbacks, I'd be looking at closer levels to the 188 level. So don't miss that, guys, on that pullback to 188. That's where I could see some buying coming into this. So we'll see what happens with that. If we can get a nice little pullback on Google to jump back into the party for that 200 push. And of course, where can you guys get this? On the playbook every single morning. That's what I try to get out there for you guys. So if you guys aren't checking the playbook, definitely go ahead and take a look. There's more for you guys on the playbook this morning. Let's go to the next stock that I want to take a look at, which is SMCI. Okay, so super microcomputers. We've been watching this for a little while now. You can see it here, how it's kind of been bunching on the daily. But really what I'd say about this stock is keep your eyes on the weekly and the monthly charts. Because if you take a look at the weekly chart, you can see how we're trying to approach back towards the 1,000. And you keep getting higher lows, kind of this little turnaround, trying to get back up there. Take a look at the monthly even. The monthly actually looks even better than the weekly. And so this just goes to show me that sometimes stocks don't always trade just on daily charts. You can take a look at some of these bigger price names on the monthly chart. And that's actually going to help you see where the trend is really coming. And you guys can see it here on this chart right here. You can see how it's starting to kind of grind up higher. And you get what? The higher lows. And we just recently put in a nice little low. Now let's see if we can make a run back here towards where? Well, right up to the top of this trend, right? Let's say 971s going to 1,000 would really get me excited about super microcomputers. I like how you got it recently, a little downturn here that really kind of stands out to me on the daily. You can see it here, guys, this downturn where we got a good amount of volume to come in. Now let's see if this really wants to take off and make that next move. This is my new one on the radar. And boy, oh boy, is it on the radar today. Of course, in the playbook. And of course, when I talk playbook, guys, a lot of these are kind of more the swing outlooks. Intraday has always going to have those kind of swings. I'll tell you guys, when I see intraday setups like hourly pullbacks, things like that is what I'm watching for in the market. So smash the like, guys, if you guys enjoy looking at things like this on super microcomputers. Not looking too bad at all right now. All right, guys, let's keep going. What other ones are on the radar? Of course, Intel, what a move there. Not going to be mad about that one. But I have another one here, guys, a surprise one for you guys. IonQ. Yes, I'm talking quantum computing. If we take a look at this, you can see the long-term trend line and how this is starting to turn around. And what do I always look for, guys? You guys know me and how I look for these bottoming approaches. And you can see how this stock had made a nice run, made a big pullback, then continued this kind of trend. And it's continued on these major pullbacks. There's the second major pullback. There's the third major pullback, right? And then we get just recently, we just got this fourth major pullback. With that being said, I'm going to look for these pullbacks to start holding and for the turnaround to start happening. First layer to look for is a move to the 50 moving average. And you guys can see this on the daily. If you zoom in, you guys can see right here, 50 exponential is towards the 790s. So some point into the 8 and into this 850 area, I'm going to look for a nice little run into that spot. We'll even make this green here so you guys can keep following it along. Let's go ahead and fill this in here, maybe make it about 25% so you guys can see that. But this is something definitely to watch for. Can we come back into this space? I definitely think this is a nice little setup. So I'll be watching quantum computing names to see if they start to get hot. Will they get some AI mentions? Definitely could happen. IonQ in play today, guys. And that's it for our playbook. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's move over now to the sunrise report. And the sunrise report is definitely important, guys. Rise and shine, team. Welcome to the sunrise report, where you get your caffeine dose of the market intel that will kickstart your trading day. So pinkies up, guys. Let's get after it. Let's take you on the espresso tour of Wall Street's hottest action this morning. Of course, first thing we need to take a look at is our eye-popping movers, game-changing economic data, and of course, what's going on in the analyst space. So let's get it started, guys. The first thing I want to tell you guys is what you should be watching this week. There's going to be a lot of movement going on in the market. So the first thing I want to be paying attention to is economic data, right? What's going on with Jerome Powell? What is coming this week? So don't miss that, guys. The big picture is what I'm talking about. And consumer credit is coming at you guys this morning. So you guys don't want to miss that. That's coming at 3 p.m. Eastern sharp. That's just the appetizer, guys. The main course is really all about Powell cooking up some drama at the semi-annual banking committee meeting on Tuesday. And don't forget, economic data coming in. We'll be watching it Thursday and Friday. We got the heavy hitters, CPI and PPI. Inflation is coming, guys. The data is coming. We got to keep our eyes out to see what happens with this inflation, as it could depend on what happens with the interest rates, right? And don't forget, Friday isn't just any Friday. It's the beginning of the earnings kickoff, where we get the big banks. We'll get JPM, we'll get Chase, Citigroup, we'll get even Wells Fargo. So get ready for the financial earnings that come in on Friday. And let's go to the next stock. Let's go to Boeing this morning, as Boeing, of course, is getting a nice little move. Right? Boeing is in hot water, though, because, of course, what's going on with this? They're pleading guilty to the conspiracy fraud charge that tied the tragic 737 MAX crashes. And what's the damage here? It's a $243.6 million fine and a corporate babysitter. What do we mean by that? Is don't get it twisted, guys. The corporate babysitter is all about what? They're going to be actually having a third-party camera kind of watching them, a third-party monitor to keep them in line. This is actually pretty interesting, something definitely that I'll be paying attention to. I mean, overall, it's definitely something that we got to keep a watch on. But Boeing has been trying to make this move above 190, and they got a lot of problems, right? This isn't just the beginning of their problems. They're trying to make a turn with all the safety manufacturing crisis that's happened, right? They've made purchases. They went to get Spirit Airlines, right? Not Spirit Airlines, SPT, SPR, right? Spirit Aerosystems Holdings. So this is something that we need to kind of keep watch. They're trying to turn things around, but really, I mean, who can trust this company after mentions like that? This is why I get surprised that Boeing is even valued at where it is today. I believe in the long run, this company's reputation has been destroyed and will continue probably on a downwards trend. But that's just the way I see it. You guys in the chat, what do you guys think about Boeing? Are you guys Boeing fans? Put a 1 if you're bullish on Boeing. Put a 2 if you're bearish. All right, let's keep going. We'll go to the next stock here. Let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. Next one up we're going to talk about, of course, is we're going to get out of Boeing and we're going to go to Paramount. Paramount Global is completing the merger this morning, and you guys can see that's why you got that nice little Paramount pop this morning. And this is all about with Skydance Media. Paramount Global is playing, of course, a little bit of a play just to keep them alive, right? Let's be honest. But they dropped the bombshell. They are merging with one of Hollywood's oldest studios that will, of course, give them a nice little facelift. So keep your eyes on Para this morning. Can it go back to the 1250 spot? Is definitely going to be something to watch. Let's go to a stock that really will be trading, that a lot of people will be watching, which is Taiwan Semiconductor, as this stock has been on fire and Morgan Stanley is joining into the party and pumping up that price target to play catch up on the recent action. JP Morgan analysts saying betting big on TSM as it's raising, as they'll be looking to see it raise its revenue guidance during the earnings call. So what 2 words are you going to be looking for? AI accelerators. So keep your eyes on that talk in the earnings conversation, something definitely to watch, and a must listen to the earnings call on TSM as we keep watching to see what happens in the AI space. But if we really take a look, TSM has been definitely hot, been pushing strong up there towards the 189. And I talked about how this has been the stock that has really just kind of caught fire after NVIDIA's first move, right? We're looking for another NVIDIA type move. Take a look at TSM. See how this takes off, right? It's very similar to NVIDIA's takeoff. Right around the same time that NVIDIA started really pushing, TSM continued to push. So this is one that I'll keep on the radar. You can see it's up there to 189. Something definitely to watch. We'll see if it can keep pushing. All right, let's go to the next stock here. We'll go to Eli Lilly, as there's a big move this morning as they made an acquisition. Let's talk a little bit about that on the pharma focus this morning, as Eli Lilly's big move. Eli Lilly coming in here making waves this morning as they're scooping up Morphic Holdings. So Morphic is something definitely to keep a watch on. Eli Lilly's putting a 57 share on the table for Morphic shares. Doing the math, that's a cool $3.2 billion. It's not a bad deal. They're definitely trying to go into oral antigen therapies. So in plain English, guys, what is this? This is going to give them access to continuing their next step in their immunizations. We're going to see what happens here with Eli Lilly if they can break through the 1920s. I'm taking a look to see what happens with Morphic, as this is an interesting stock itself. We'll see what happens with it right now. So take a look at that action to see if Eli Lilly can keep pushing. This is the stock that I would not run into by any means necessary. We just got news about their Alzheimer's drug that was approved by the FDA. So Eli Lilly, I'm not watching this to turn around at any moment. If anything, I think this can continue the strength that we've seen in healthcare overall. So take a look at those stocks, see if they can continue to rise. NVO, a bunch of different names in this space. XLV, I'll be looking for this to maybe get hot again and start to approach the resistance. That's the support right now. So you could get some buyers to step back in and start making the move to the upside. What playbook? Well, the playbook is every single morning where I give you guys strategic moves and looks on outlooks, right? Where I look at the daily chart and I give you guys swing strategic moves that I'm seeing in the market this morning. And that's our playbook. We put it out on our Twitter every single morning. Check that out, guys. If you guys don't have our Twitter, please give it a follow. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the next one here. Let's move over and let's keep it going here. What's the next stock? Let's keep going. Let's go towards what we got here. Let's go to, now we're going into the ratings. All right, so let's get into our ratings this morning. We're going to talk about, of course, Wall Street's ratings, or mood swings, as I like to call them. Let's get into Gilead. Gilead stepping up this morning with a ratings change. And this is Raymond James saying buy, 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 as they look at to see this stock upgrading to outperform with a juicy $93 price target. Gilead, $93. Where are they seeing that? Well, they're looking at the resistance breaking, right? I mean, you guys can see it here on the weekly. We can go to the daily. I'll go to the daily to show you guys that, but you guys can see it. They're looking for a break above this 90 spot. So with that being said, can the stock get back up there? I mean, they definitely see something working up and getting hot on this stock. Let's see if this can really start to turn on the monthly chart. Right now, it's on monthly support right off of that, around the 60, 89s. That's where you're going to see a lot of kind of that momentum, probably buying pressure down here. So we'll see if this can really start working its way back to the 80s. Gilead with a $93 price target. Raymond James stepping up to the plate with a buy this morning. All right, let's go to the next one here, which is Now. ServiceNow getting a nice little downgrade to sell here with a 640 price target. So Now is definitely going to be something to watch. It's Guggenheim that's stepping up here with a sell rating at the top. So that just goes to show you guys, if you're going to be willing to step up here, a lot of times the analyst is kind of like a chase. Well, this isn't a chase. This is actually calling it from the top as a sell. So we'll see what happens with that action this morning. You can see how it's already coming down fast down there to the 770s. Could break that next layer. I'd be looking for moves back to resistance. Let's say back towards the prior resistance before this, which was right around this kind of 794 level. So back up into the 790, 794s. Doesn't look too bad there for now. We'll see what happens with this one. It's not a bad one. Money Mitch, those plays, no money. Which ones? No money on which ones? Which ones are you talking about? Bullseye and on the playbook? I mean, the playbook's been hot, guys. Intel was just on the playbook on Friday. That's money in the bank already. You guys literally saw me cash in on that. Bullseye, you can't get about it, man. You can't get trades like that, man. Look at AMD. Look how that thing's going. Where else are you guys getting playbook action like that? If you guys know anywhere else, please let me know, because even I would take a look at that. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there for those big money winners. I mean, this is big money winners, believe it or not. If the consistency where the big money is made is in the bigger stocks, not the small caps, Bullseye. But we'll take a look at the small caps. Don't worry. We will definitely watch those. But really, where the consistency is made, where's the money being made? It's being made in stocks like AMD. It's being made in stocks like Tesla, right? You know how it is. Very wise move from Benzinga, getting some love out there. Hey, at the end of the day, Benzinga, I got nothing against them. I use them on a daily basis. I think they're great for news. I just made my decision and kept going into another avenue for me that I could continue to trade and do what I do, right? Do what I love to do, which is trade, teach you guys, and try to help you guys continue moving forward. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at some other action. I can't buy enough shares of those larger caps, and I think that's the wrong approach, Bullseye. It might be the right approach for, let's say, day trading and small cap accounts, but that's what we're here for. That's what trade to pull is all about. If you have buying power, you can get enough shares, like I do of AMD, and you guys see it in the swing trade. How much shares did I do with AMD there? 10 shares. That was nothing in my buying power. You guys, a lot of times, are going to be thinking that it's shares that you're needed to make the money. Really, it's nice consistency in the moves. But hey, to each his own, man. Let's keep going. Let's get out of this action. We can take a look at some other kind of ratings, upgrades, and downgrades. I'm going to get out of the ratings and upgrades. There's only one more that I'm going to bring up because it's been one that we've been talking about here for a little while now. Let's get to the action in Cinemark. So this stock has been one that we've been keeping an eye open, as of course the movies have been getting some good numbers lately, and that Disney movie definitely getting a nice number. So B. Riley Securities, seeing the stars, they upgraded it to buy and raised the price target to 27. So that's definitely going to give it a lift. We'll see what happens with this one on CNK, if it can really start moving. IMAX was one that I gave last week to see if this could push. This one didn't push, but I'll continue watching it. At some point, I think this can get hot, start pushing back there towards the 18. Of course, it's a lower volume name, so keep that on watch. And the only other ones, just to kind of mention there, Desktop Metals did pump the brakes out there, downgrading it to neutral and a price target of 550. But I love when they downgrade it and the price that they give is above the price target. So I don't understand that one, but something that we can keep watch. Let's go through the scanners here for some of those smaller names, see what we're looking out there. Of course, I saw Zap this morning getting a big push. We can take a look at the kind of the top net change this morning to see where the moves are going. MSTR, whoa. This is up a pretty good amount there. Let's go to the change percentage there to kind of catch a little bit more. Zap, of course, Zap making a big move this morning. We'll continue to watch this one to see if it makes the move. This one, I was even thinking about shorting on Friday. So, hey, you don't get them all right. And one thing's for certain, I'm not going to hide and act like I wasn't bearish on this one. I was bearish for this one to kind of crack right back down, as I was looking for Tesla to get a little bit weak, right? Well, this morning, Tesla kind of just hanging out here at the 248 spot, getting close to my area of shorting back, which is above the 253s. It could still make that move today. It could start to drop. One thing's for certain, we got kind of that indecision candle from the top. Let's see if this continues to drive through this level. I definitely am not looking at Tesla as a short right now. I'm going to be watching this because it could be, one of those kind of quick moves to back down towards the 220 area. So there's still a potential on the downside. Upside breakout above the 250 could happen just because you're getting that kind of bunch up. We'll see what happens with this, how much the bulls just want to kind of drive this. Next layer to the on the upside would be 265s. And then who knows? This could be at 300 before even the event comes. If that does happen, it just shows me more and more that this could just be buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. Let's keep going, guys. Let's go to some other ones. Zap is definitely, we'll see what happens with that if it can keep pushing. If we look to the left-hand side, we can see there was some resistance at the 650, 640 mark. So maybe pullbacks in that area seem to make sense. You can see it right around the 640s right now. It's at 670s, has made a move in the pre-market to 830s. Will Zap continue going or get zapped? We'll find out. All right, guys, let's keep going. Cigar, you can ask your questions. It's okay. I can be as transparent as can be, right? I wonder, what's your main source of income? Is it trading or working for Trade the Pool? Curious to know that for sure, brother. And there's no need to kind of worry about that. I've talked about this all the time. Trading is not my main source of income. It's my side income. It's my hustle, right? Until that point comes where I can just purely pay the bills off of not only my trading, but also kind of get like savings out of my trading, well, then that'll be the move where I only focus on trading, right? And until then, what do? Well, I join here, guys. I do education, right? I try to help you guys get to that layer, that next step in your success. Well, the truth is I'm making a good amount on both ends. Now, is one more than the other? Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm working here, right? Now, one thing I will say though is that in the swing trade account, that's really where I'm trying to take it to the next layer, because where I've seen my profits go and I've seen the next layer where I could say, hey, if I stepped up in sizing, could I get to that point where I could just only focus on my trading income? And that would be especially in my swing trading. Day trading, still, I've talked about this. I'm not red, but I'm just slightly positive, just slightly in the green. And we all know after taxes and things like that for day trading, it just doesn't make sense too much for me to go to that layer. But hey, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to go ahead and try to figure out both sides. Last week had a great day trading week. So we'll look to see and keep battling, right? The old thing is don't quit your day job. 100%. That's what I'm trying to do, man. At the end of the day, that's what I try to do. I try to always have two ways of making income, something that's steady and then something that I can maybe make more in, right? The potential to like boost your family's wealth is what we're all looking for, right? We're not just talking about one layer. We're talking about moving up in those tax brackets. I ain't going to be mad if I'm moving up in those. All right, guys, I'd like to always keep it straight. So if you guys have questions, I'm always going to give it to you straight. That's what it's all about, man. One thing is for certain, the transparency on this stream is going to be better than none other. If you guys look out there, there's no one showing you their positions. There's someone out there, there's shows out there that will show you some entries, but they're only showing you like, I entered here, I got out here. How many shares did you have? How much money did you make? Was it just one share that you traded? Because if it's one share, I mean, we all know that's just pointless, right? So a lot of shows out there are not going to be as transparent as we will be right here. Let's keep getting after it, traders. We'll see what else is out in the market today. Zap. What's another one? Let's take a look here. Cero. Don't know Cero, so let's take a look here. Here's a 34-cent stock trying to make a move up there towards the 46. Doesn't look too bad in the morning on the 5-minute. You can see it here kind of pulling back. Has 1, 2, 3. I'd look for that one more kind of pullback action to kind of hold here. 1, 2, 3. Try to undercut going towards this 33. Then we can see this start to rise again. I have no idea if this one has some news. So let's take a look at Benzinga Pro. I just mentioned them. I got no problem taking a look. And I use Benzinga Pro on a daily basis, guys. So if you guys aren't using daily, or Benzinga Pro. Definitely check it out, guys. It's a great way to get your news in the morning. It's a big way of how I get all my setups in the morning, right? I take a look to see what's making a move and if there's anything out there. All right, now I'm looking to see if there's anything on Serotherapeutics. I'm not seeing anything just yet, but let me give it a second here to see if it finds any news out there. Looks like there's some data out there this morning. So it's presenting at a CER 120, pretty much data supporting gene therapy in a gene therapy summit. So there you guys see it, a little bit of some data coming out on this. I don't know about healthcare data, so I try my best not to act like I know in these. The conference is being held from July 8th to the 10th, so we could get some more news out of this company. You can see it right now attempting to cut down through that 33. So let's see if it holds that, gets right back up there towards the 35 and starts making its move to the 40. This is the area where I think you'd find some buy the dip. And then, of course, going back to the 36 is going to be an important outlook. All right, let's keep going. What other ones are on this radar that you guys want to take a look at? I saw mentions in the chat of OPTT. I've actually traded this one in the past, like when I first started trading, guys. So we'll see what happens with OPTT. It's back towards the 30 cents, trying to make a move here, and the 40 cents. Can you get back through the 50 cents is an important outlook. And if you take a look at the hourly, you can see how this one could pull back here closer towards this kind of 36, then make the move. That's the way I look at it right now. I'm looking for a nice hourly pullback to hold, and then this starts to make the move. Right now, I made a pre-market move to 44, could pull back to that 36, then get the next step up. That's the way I see OPTT. Of course, this is a known runner, and we just had some known runners make a move recently, right? Cost was such a big move. That was a monster move last week, and it's actually coming back down towards the 11 today. And we'll see, watch if some other big moves kind of show up. We've gotten a couple of big moves lately. Keep it on the radar, team. All right, let's keep going, guys. What other ones are making a move? If you guys have any stock you guys want to take a look at this morning, especially in the penny land, let me know, guys. I'm not the, I don't know all the moves in the pennies. I can definitely tell you that. Look at this reverse split, 1 for 30, up there pretty good this morning, and it's an auto manufacturer. So be careful out there with this one, kind of getting some squeeze. C-Jet. I have no idea about Chai Jet Motor Company, but hey, right now we're seeing Zap make a move. So that just tells me more and more that you got to keep these on the radar. They could keep pushing. We'll see what happens there in Zap. It's trying to make the move back to 7. I'd be looking for a nice quick little pullback, and then the next action. Look at Intel Go, man. We'll see if this can keep pushing this morning. Of course, this is one of my top swing trades, and can look at it on the day trade side, but I'm going to leave it on the swing trade side of things. Let's go ahead and I'm going to switch on over back towards the day trade account and get ready for the open here as we're looking to see some big moves happen today. We'll see what happens, team. All right, let's go catch up back with you guys. What are you guys taking a look at? The chat is definitely pushing. All right, AMD. All right, let's take a look there. AMD is definitely one that I'll be watching for continuation. Right now, it's up there to 174.60s, guys. This is an amazing move. We've been looking at this for a while, looking for this to turn around. Bullish engulfing candle on Tuesday really made this look better. Now we had that inside day on Wednesday, kind of a nice little pullback, didn't close above the high. Now really starting to take off. Now big levels to watch is the next move up towards the 180s. Is this going to have its Tesla moment when it really just starts to take off? I feel like AMD is starting that move. I'm not mad because I'm in Intel and other names like Palantir that are doing very similar moves. Now I'm just looking for these stocks to really take off. So AMD, where's the next move to? I see 180 in play. And then maybe a pullback into this layer here, back towards the gap, towards this kind of like 174, going towards this high. I'd definitely be watching pullbacks into that, as you could definitely pull back right here towards this 171. As long as it can hold kind of 165 now, I think this is looking awesome. We'll see what happens there in AMD. All right, IVP this morning. Great squat. Let's take a look here. IVP. Veterinary Partners. Don't know this one at all, but it is getting the move in the morning. A lot of resistance right above that it's starting to hold as support. You can see it here, this kind of closing action. You can see it right above this 223s. And then now it starts to break it in the pre-market, pulls back below it, and then claims it here off this 227 low. So definitely wouldn't want to see the 227 give up. Want to see that hold there. That's kind of like your risk on the downside. Right now, it's kind of holding in sideways, trying to make the move back towards 4. So it's not a bad area to kind of keep a watch on this. I don't know too much about kind of the fundamentals on this company, but definitely you can see it here, kind of holding in, trying to make that next step up through 4. It's not a bad one to watch. Definitely has some volume this morning. IVP, put it on the radar. Let's keep going. All right, guys, we'll see what happens with this. I'm going to start making a little bit more of a watch list for us that we can kind of keep up with. But smash the like, traders. We'll see what we get into this morning. Right now, I'm taking a look here. I'm going to use the gainers and losers list to see if maybe we can find a little bit more, right? I'm going to show you guys this. Of course, if you're not using this on Trade the Pool platform, definitely check it out, guys. I know I like using it. We'll go ahead and kind of turn this a little bit smaller so we can fit this in there, but definitely keep an eye out on this. If you guys are not using the gainers and losers list, you guys can just be using this as a scanner itself. This is not a bad way to look at some of the top moves in the market right now. IVP being one of those. More F is another one. More F. Let's take a look here. Morphic, of course. Yeah, we talked already about this one in our sunrise report with Eli Lily. GRFS, $8 stock, trying to get a move to a drug manufacturer. We'll see what happens with this one. This one looks like it has some news. Let's take a look here. GRFS. All right, so it looks like it's trading higher after Brookfield confirmed its exploratory discussions with certain shareholders of the company in relation to a potential joint offer of the shares. That's definitely going to get people hot and focused on this one. We'll see if this one can move back towards 10. Resistance right above it at 930s. So that's where the resistance really is. And there's a little gap up here to kind of fill. So keep your eyes on this one. This one could pull back, trying to catch a like 820s support. We'll see if it gets back up there, back down towards that kind of 9 EMA, 812s as the hourly low right now. We'll look to see what happens there on the 5-minute. But you can see how it's making these kind of push, quick sweeps, then drives. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here. Push, quick sweep, and then another drive. We'll see what this one can get back there towards 950. Catching up with you guys this morning. What's up out there? Pinkies up, man. Pinkies up. What's up with so many people bringing up Maxen? Great, Scott. I've seen a lot of people mention Maxen. It's such a cheap name right now. That's the hard part. I remember when I was looking at these stocks and man, at one point it was doing really well. This stock has a lot of volume, but boy, oh boy, is it trying to make the move back. But can this really kind of make that move? Maybe it fills the gap here to 56 or 55 cents, but I don't see $1 coming into play with this. So this is going to be a very hard name. It's going to be a highly traded name. We're talking probably shares of, hundreds of thousands. And that's the problem there, is that even if you get the move, maybe you get the move and that's about 20 cents higher. So it's a very hard trade to kind of continue and get to the next layer. We'll see what happens there on MaxN. All right, let's keep going, team. If you guys have any stocks you guys want to take a look at, let's take a look at the SPY action this morning, guys. The SPY up there at 555. 555.30s and continuing, man. The daily is just pushing away from the 9 EMA, showing me more and more the rotation to the big boys is alive and well. And so that's what I'll be watching this morning to see if that continues. Does NVIDIA stay hot as on Wednesday really started to make the move, starting to push up this morning? Let's see if this really takes off there and back through the 130s, going to the 138s. Definitely wouldn't be shorting NVIDIA on a day like today. I liked it at 125 before that kind of bullish engulfing candle that came in on the daily. And you guys can see it right here. So when this cuts down again and it cuts through 121, that would be the next layer for downside action. For right now, it looks like you could have got some re-ads going into here, especially around kind of the 124s and 120 level. Because you could see it here, it undercut, and then recovered. So I wouldn't be fighting those spots. Watching Mara. Let's go to Mara, man. Eric, I know that you've been kind of back and forth with me on this one too, and it's been a tough one. I'll tell you guys that, right? So this morning, I'm going to be watching to see what happens, right? Bitcoin price is really the important thing. You're trying to recover back through the 57,000, but it was as low as 54,000, right? And it actually broke the 60,000 last week. So if we can't recover 60,000, I don't know about this Mara. I feel like it's trying to trap some traders, trying to make it look like it's coming back to the bullish side, and now could just do a wipeout back down to 1950s and 19 and really start to make this look ugly if we get a bearish looking candle back to 19. So we'll see what happens on that action today. Watching Morrow as usual, very weak move on Friday, closed the gap this morning, thinking it should move down to test today. I'll wait and see what it wants to do. Eric, I feel the same way. I feel like, I filled the gap. A lot of traders, like short traders, will start chasing it. Short all day on Friday, getting wrecked, getting stopped out. And now they don't look at it today, and then it just goes boom, red candle. So, Eric, I'm with you. I think this is definitely one to watch for the downside action to come in, especially through the $20 spot going towards the 19. Doesn't look like a bad name to keep on the radar. All right, let's keep going, team. Another action in the chat. Gonna get some coffee. I'll go with the list. Yes, definitely. I feel like I need a coffee refresh this morning. I do have some coffee out there. Might have to go do a little bit of a quick refill, but definitely we'll do that. We'll do that right before the bell, maybe right after. But let's keep going, guys. Throw up some tickers. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'll definitely take a look at it. That's what I'm here for, team. Tesla, we talked about First Solar, back to the 225. Speaking of Fisker, I saw an Ocean on the street the other day. I was like, oh boy, I'm happy I didn't buy that. First Solar has been on the pullback. We'll look to see if it gets the next layer up with energy pulling back. I don't feel too confident about solar going higher. Energy was one that I was looking to see if we get the run. Now you're back down towards the 89, so you got to be careful with names like this, and even XOM back towards 112. It was trying to make the move, couldn't get going last week, so definitely something to keep watch. And this starts to break kind of that whole kind of left shoulder, right shoulder kind of thing. It needs to start working its way back to the upside. If oil's not doing well, a lot of times I don't expect to also see solar doing well, but that's just something that I'll watch. XOM also on the radar. I see you mentioning some of those, Noli. Target is one that we're seeing it start to work back to the upside. This looks like to me like it's caught in some dip buy, right? We're looking to see if it would start to turn around back here, and now it's starting to turn around, right? So with that being said, there is a gap to fill back. It already filled the gap once here on Friday 31st, starting to work its way back. A lot of volume on this day, Friday the 28th, and a lot of that was on AI mentions. I think that was the shop mention. So take a look at shop, starting to make a move too. Target, definitely going to be watched towards 155. Walmart was one that I was looking at for the short, and I'm glad I got out of this one, guys. Look at Walmart now back towards 70, staying within this channel and pushing towards the up end. So it tells me that Target could get going, that Costco could do new highs and continue, right? Dollar Tree, names like that. You got DG, you can look at Dollar General, right? DLTR, Dollar Tree, now bottoming around the 106. Doesn't look too bad to see this kind of recover. Ollie, we'll see if this can continue to climb. BJ, wholesales, I just gave them money this weekend, so maybe they continue to drive higher, going up there to that 95. All names to kind of keep watching the discount area as this starts to push. We'll see what happens. Let's see here on the RSI, what's the strongest name? The strongest one is Ollie right now, Walmart, Costco, behind that Target. And then you get DG, BJ. So there's a lot there, definitely to keep a watch. Big lots, will that turn around? No, I'm not touching big lots, guys. All right, let's go to ANVS. This was the big move. Thank you, great. This was the one that I was looking at a little while back. We'll see if this one can make the next step up there. but not bad one to keep a watch on here. ANVS, we'll see if it can get back there towards 12, gets through this 1251. Not a bad area to watch, but let's keep it going, guys. We got about, 10 minutes for the bell. Let's go. It's time to wake up, traders. It's time to get things going. This looks like costs, right? I mean, it could just keep going through the 12. I'm looking for hourly pullbacks to hold. That's a fake out towards like $10. So pullbacks into that spot seem to make sense. This morning, getting up there towards 1150. This one was moving all around there, so it's going to be a hard trade. Of course, I was watching on Friday for the move back to 8. So we're ways away from there, right? We're talking 32% higher. Looking for pullbacks to that 10 to hold today. ANVS going to be on the radar and a lot of action coming into biotechs. You guys know how those biotechs love to move. Lucid. Looks like the squeeze is on. We were talking about how the trash could get moving because Tesla's making such a big move. Auto manufacturers are making a move overall. I've talked also about Polestar, maybe making a move above 1. So all these names, keep a watch on them, team. They're going to be on the radar. Lucid, Zap, VEV. I don't even know what this one is, but I think it's on the radar. Because the truth is, that's how it works a lot for the algorithms. They're not looking into the fundamentals of these companies. They're just buying it based on a move in autos overall. So Rivian, that one's one that I'm watching for a continued move. It's held here, kind of built up some volume. Let's see if it really starts getting going to the 16 today is one that I'd keep on the radar. Even the Molinator, MULN, starting to move to the upside. I saw Nikola. We talked about Nikola on Friday. Will this one go back to 10? So keep these stocks on watch. Of course, there's probably high short interest on Lucid that could keep it just pumping and pumping. We'll see if we get pullbacks to $3.10 and $3 right now in the pre-market, a high of $3.24. All right, let's keep it going. What's up out there? Yes, Maxen, all those on the radar. Wisdom throwing up some other names. Definitely catch those in the chat, guys. It's about 9:21. We got to keep it going. We'll see what else is making a move out there. It's another bright day here in the market. Going to look to see if we can make some great trades on, of course, maybe some penny names, maybe some bigger names. Definitely going to be watching to see what happens in the bigger cap names. Like Apple's just driving, guys. Don't forget it. But Apple was just recently looking like it was starting to turn back to the downside. I mean, look at the 3 months it's been moving. It's up about 36% since that downside concern came in. So, hey, don't mess with Apple. That's one thing for certain. All right, we'll see what other ones kind of make a move right now. Looking into the sectors and the industries this morning. If we look back here, you can see technology has been the hottest area, right? That's where we got to continue to watch it. Defensives propping to the upside. Healthcare trying to come back. Utilities, real estate. There's so much bullishness that I'm seeing right now. Even consumer cyclicals trying to prop to the upside. What looks ugly? Well, energy recently pulled back. We'll see if this actually gets the pullback and holds it, then makes the next step up. Industrials have been pulling back, and we're looking to see what happens with this. This is a lot of the outlook on the rates. If rates could turn and actually make a cut, I think industrials get hot again. But that's not what I'm seeing out there. At least that's not what I feel. There's still people saying that we might get 2 cuts coming up here in September. I don't think that. I don't think we're getting rate cuts at all this year. I don't understand why there's this countless pounding on the table right now of rate cuts. The market is not breaking. Until you see the market itself breaking, it's not about the economic data. It's about the market itself. The market's making money. Forget the economic data. They'll wait till literally it looks so bad that you see it, show up finally on the price action. So for me, I don't think this has anything to really do with that. I think you continue to watch and see industrial struggle right here. I don't feel too confident about them. There's only one that I've been keeping a close eye on, really, which is GE for this setup back through 170. It's been trying, but essentially just going sideways here. We'll see if it turns things around. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there, guys? I might need some more coffee, man. It might be one of those days. It's 9:23. Got to get ready for the bell here, but we'll keep it going, team. I want a short Zap at 8, says Dana K. I can't blame you. I wanted a short Zap at 4, but you know how that one would have turned out. Netflix, what's up out there? Let's take a look at Netflix. Good morning, traders. FJF, how you doing? All right, Netflix up there to 688 and continuing to just be bottom, guys. Anytime there are stocks like this that are just high quality names that take a falling like this stock did in the bear market, those are opportunities, man. We're almost back here towards 2021 highs, and this stock is just grinding higher. You got to look for weekly pullbacks. The last 3 weeks, we've had a pullback into this area, the 665 area, and then go right back to the highs. You guys can see it here. So now I'd be looking to see if resistance holds, right? Resistance kept being around the 680, 690s. Maybe pullbacks to 680s make sense right now. We'll look for the run 700. Can Netflix get there? It definitely could. We'll see what happens there on Netflix. Not a bad looking move. DAP, watch for 10 if you want to get the biggest piece out of the short. We'll see, man. It's not a bad one to watch. Definitely going to be moving. Where's ZAP right now? 719. Trying to get the move right off of this $7 spot. Started to get the move already. Let's see if it stays hot this morning towards the bell. We'll see that one. And of course, take a look at IVP. That's one of the top plays right now. Which one will make the move? Which one do you guys like better? Throw it up in the chat. If you're a ZAP fan or if you're an IVP fan today, whether short or long, just want to know who's on the radar or what's on the radar for you. Throw it up in the chat. So it's good to see you guys. What's up out there? Peaceful Verse, first day of the TTP eval. Wish you luck. Hey, my friend, stay true to what you know best, what your trading skills are, your personality. That's what's going to get you to success. And like always, remember that it doesn't have to happen in one day. This is going to be a battle, and you got to get ready to battle. With that being said, when you take that first punch, remember, just take it easy. Take a moment. Focus on what's truly important to you, which is getting past the evaluation, right? Not one trade that's going to make or break this eval. Things to think about. I wish you the best, my friend. Get after it. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is out there. Taking a look at CrowdStrike. Is the breakout good? Yeah, it's not a bad one to watch. I'll tell you one thing. This was the one that Nancy Pelosi was adding, right? I mean, hey, if Nancy wants it, there's something good out here. I'm looking for moves back into this gap to play CrowdStrike, but for right now, you can see the resistance around the 393s. It's trying to make the breakout there. Hasn't done it already, though. That's one thing to note. It's been up there a couple of times and failed. So it really needs to take a good day to get through that 395 spot and start to push. I'd give it that one more chance. If it doesn't, it could easily come back to the 382s. I feel like it's slowing down a little bit, but keep your eyes on the big boy in this space, right? Which is Pan W. Look how this has been getting hot and trying to fill the gap. So I wouldn't be fighting this too much on the downside. But also you can see that others are starting to get hot in this space. Zscaler, you can kind of keep watch. Snow is one that we've talked about. Look how this has been hot. So they got to stay hot with it, right? So if you want to see CrowdStrike get through that high, well, you got to see the space also stay strong here. Take a look at that Zscaler. Take a look at Pan W. Can those keep pushing towards the next layer? We'll see what happens there. All right, you Oh, wisdom. I'm going to leave that one in the chat because maybe not the best to read that one out loud. What else is out there? Scale. Best switches. Yeah, scaling has been definitely one of the ways that I've been getting after it. SS Trade, I'm halfway there on the 80K buying power eval. Hey, wish you the best, SS Trade. Get after it. And if you need any outlook, you want to look into a stock, let me know, man. I wish you the best out there. Like always, we're all battling here, trying to find success. Let's keep rooting for each other. Whether you're long or short a stock, I want to see you guys get after it. All right, what else is out there? Palms are sweaty. Ooh, that's one that we've talked about in the past. So, hey, get after it, my friend. One thing that I would say is definitely when the palms are sweaty, what are we feeling? We're feeling that emotions because we're going to have to make some decisions coming up once the market opens. So with that being said, at 9:29 right now, focus, my friend, on just executing what you know best. Remember, it's not one trade that's going to make or break you. So even if you get a loss, just focus on what you do best. Get after it, team. Here comes the bell, team. We'll see what happens. It's about 46 seconds left, 43 seconds. Let's go, team. It's time to get ready and get after it. I'll tell you what now, guys, I'm going to be watching kind of Zap early on, names like that. But really continuing to see what happens in technology. Will Qualcomm go right back up? Of course, this is one that's been pulling back, trying to make its way back like NVIDIA. SMCI, this morning, we talked about it. Would this climb back to 900? It's already gone about 15 points, team, since this morning. Since us talking, this is actually looking really good this morning. We'll see what happens on SMCI. I'm looking for some pullback action in that one, but it's hot this morning. We'll see what happens there. All right, here comes the bell, team. Get after it, traders. Let's see what we can do. You know what time it is. It's time. Get after it, traders. Let's see what we can come up with today. A lot of action in the market, always. You guys let me know where you're seeing it. I'll definitely show you guys where I'm seeing it. Mara with a big spike out the gates. Intel down. Google, big spike down out the gates there on a pullback there, it seems like. Let's take a look at the other action. We'll keep watching to see what's going on there. Zap starting off with a little bit of a pullback. Look at SMCI go, guys. This one actually looking really well this morning, starting to push already in the morning. I'm looking for pullbacks on this, but definitely SMCI on the radar there. All right, Zap going up and down, moving all around. We'll see what happens with this one, trying to get back up through that 725. We could see some big pullbacks in this. I'm going to be looking around to see if this finally gets moving here. Let's see. I see it on the 5 minute. You guys can see kind of, it's trying to round here, but a lot of resistance right above it here towards the 730s. Hasn't wanted to get through there. We'll see if it starts to get through. What's the other one? IVP. Straight down out the gates. Not looking that great on this one. Could hold off the 250s and then come back. All right, looking around some other ones. Lucid, how's that one started off? Nice little pullback to 310s. We'll see if this one gets back up towards the highs at 324s in the pre-market. Zap still moving all around there. Mara with a big kind of spike through that level. Now starting to come back here. So I'm going to be looking to see if I can maybe get a little bit of some short action in Mara, as I feel like this could be a trap. All right, guys, I've been wanting to short Mara, so let's see if I can start to get this short here and then really kind of add into it. So I would like to see this get back up there and kind of triple top. So on the 1 minute, it could look like just a blow off top. Let's see it get back here towards, like it wants to break right back towards this kind of 2080s, get back towards 2075, 2080s, and then come right back down through the 2060s. That's the way I see it here. All right, already pulling back a little bit. As it starts to pop here, I will get my first entry. The first entry is going to be small, and then I'm going to look to shorts get bigger as the day goes on. All right, 10 shares of Zap. Let's see what happens. Mom Spaghetti is right, baby. Let's get after it. Let's get that spaghetti today. All right, guys, looking for this to top out there. Starter on there, starter on Mara. Just got 100 shares just to get a little bit there. Want to let this try to get back there towards the 2080s. Right now, if it blows through the 2080s, I can just leave it alone. It's only 100 shares right now, but really looking to add in here, get towards like 300, 400 shares. Let's see what I can do in Mara today, team. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to make this a little smaller so you guys can see the positions here. There we go, guys. See 2071. It's trying to get through that 2080s. Let's see if it gets through there. Right now, I have no shares to add at that point because it could just blow off. If it blows off, hey, I leave it alone. But if it turns back to the downside, that's when I really want to catch it. Here's that attempted break towards 21. We'll see if it keeps pushing. Now starting to turn back. Going to give it a second to go towards a red candle back towards the 2065s here. Seeing a lot of volume at the 2075, about 100,000 shares. What is going on, guys? There's a lot of volume there at the 2075 spot. Show you guys that. Look at this. What is going on in that spot there? You guys can see it here. See what happens, guys. A lot of volume there. Want to show you guys that. That's some decent bid support there at the 75s. Looking at it right now to see if it's going to go through that 21. Back through that 21, I'll probably just get out for it in the time being. Look for it to kind of start to work its way back down. All right, IVP now back towards 260s, so keep that one on the radar. Zap down to 655, so that's not looking the best there. All right, rejection there in Mara already there, so starting to go red candle on the 1 minute. Now starting to reject here. This is when I start to get some size in here. Start looking to see if this could really turn around here. It's still trying to spike through that 21, so I still haven't added. I'm just looking for this to start cutting back below the 90 MA, which is that 74. Then I can start looking for 70s on ads. Definitely trying to build some volume, build the momentum move. So right now for me, that's just being protective towards the upside. Yeah, I'm using the level 2 to see the orders. Yeah, and they're not, it doesn't mean it's going through, but I'm just seeing that level 2 there. And there was a lot of volume on pullback. Looking around, guys, I'm seeing Intel get a nice little move up, so that's making me feel confident. Zap is back to 655. Is that on a halt? Oh my God, that is on a halt, right? Yep, halting down, man. Zap, what a move, guys. Maybe you should have got short. Who knows? Money Mit's too aggressive for my blood. Hey, the key there is the starter, Eric. Like, I don't care about this 100 shares. Like, if I lose 30 bucks, it is what it is, man. But I'm trying to give myself the little starter entry here. All right, there's a nice little pullback there. It's still battling, though, in this 2080. So there's like this 75 shares, 2075, 2076 that it doesn't want to get through right now. So that's why I also haven't added, because for right now, the pullbacks are getting rejected through there. Here's that 75. Look how it goes to it. Keeps holding there. There's some action going off of that 75 level. Seeing it right there. There's right there. 10,000 shares, 67s now. So it seems to me like they're just playing with this 21 outlook here. Still giving it the chance. It's 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down. We're gonna get to the 3rd up here. Then I'm gonna look for that to start to fail and going back to the 2060s. It's still developing right now, but definitely fighting in the 75, 76. There's a big player right here. Big player, whether it's an add or a subtract there. That's one thing I'm just keeping in mind, but you can see it on the tape. Now it's at 67s, big order at 67s. Lovely short at IVP there. Let's take a quick look here. IVP, 255s. We'll see if that one kind of breaks down through the 250 spot. Zap still halted. Man, what a move there. Going back to Mara, let's go. Let's see what happens here. Still rejecting right now. Trying to get back up there towards the 2080s. Let's see if this really starts to kind of break down here. What's up out there, future day trade? The boys are doing well, man. The boys are doing well, getting bigger every day. That's for certain. SMCI, best trade of the day for you? Yeah, SMCI was on the playbook this morning. How is that doing? Ooh, 896 now? Come on, team. Come on. You can't make this up, man. Let's just be honest. You can't. What a move there. Today's playbook, team. Look, it was out this morning, guys. 8:16 in the morning. SMCI looking for anticipating that move to the 900 range. Look at 900 go. Here it comes. Will it get to the 900? Oh, get there. 899, 30s, almost to that 900. Get your playbook this morning, team. Not a bad one there. 899.90. Watch, it probably won't do it now because I'm talking about it, but that's how it goes, team. What a move. SMCI this morning. Gonna look for some quick pullbacks. So pullbacks back down on the 5-minute. So it's like, let's say 870s, 880s. Makes sense for me in that case. VWAP is at 882. So 880 area. I'll definitely alert you guys for pullback. I'm looking to see if I can get that on a pullback. Doesn't look too bad there. IonQ also on the scanners this morning. And look at that pop into the 770s. Money Mitch, not bad on the playbook this morning. Google, watch for hourly pullbacks. That's what I'm watching for on hourly pullbacks for Google. That's that 190 going into play right now. Doesn't look too bad off of that 190 right now. This is that 190 from Friday's 11 a.m. We'll look to see if it reverses off that layer and comes right back up. All right, going to Mara here. It's trying to get through that 21. Still hasn't gotten through that 21, but I'm going to go ahead and just set a stop here for that 21 break here. If that does happen, I'll get out here, guys. I got 21.02 as my out right now. A lot of volume in the 21s. There's about 20,000 shares there, about 40,000 shares there. I think you're going to get an attempt there to get through that 21 and probably get some stops triggered. So I'll probably get triggered out. For right now, I'm leaving it towards 2104 to give myself a 4 cents room just in case it just taps it and comes right back down. All right, here it guys goes. There's that move to 21 and it rejects. It gets up there and then rejects it. Went to 2102. 2104 is my stop. Could get triggered out here. I'm just letting you guys know. If I do get hit, it's only $33. Of course, average loss for me is now closer towards 150, 200. There it is, triggered out, guys. Starter on. Glad I didn't add to it, right? The starter was on. That's perfectly fine. We'll see if this comes back down a little later. Mara starting the day towards the up move. We'll look to see if it starts to break back down. For right now, I don't like it to the upside, especially with Bitcoin struggling like it is. IVP, let's go back to that one. 256 kind of holding in there. A couple of wicks on the downside. Nicola showing up there up to 1050s, guys. This just goes to show me that, hey, be careful with Zap coming even back, man. Or Lucid maybe getting hot. So Lucid right back to threes, probably getting a reload here. Doesn't look too bad there at the maybe the 305 off the 3 spot here. Oh man, should I trade Lucid? This is a scary one, but I'll take a look at it today, guys. I know this one could squeeze because there's a lot of people short on the name. So let's see what happens on this one if Lucid could get right back up. So if I could get like 305s right now, risk off the $3 spot, doesn't look too bad here. We'll look to see what happens in Lucid. All right, and Mara did go through that 204s, and it's right back down to 2086. So that just goes to show you. I'm going to keep watch on Mara, but I think it's being trappy on the upside move. All right, Lucid, let's go to it, guys. If you guys have a stock you guys want to watch, throw it up in the chat. $3 a share on ANVS. Yeah, let's take a look at that one. ANVS here, up there to 1350s. Man, I was looking at this thing at the $8 spot. That is tough. Look at that thing go. Holds to $10 this morning. Doesn't even get close to it at the gates. Just shoots up. Shoots up. ANVS, way to get after it. Great Scott. Get that money. Boom, baby. Mitch is the GOAT. I know it, Martine. Thank you, man. Look at that. I'm so much of a GOAT. You're back, Martine. Boom, baby. All right, done. 3 rewards, doing my journaling, then out for a walk. See you tomorrow, AMD and Intel. Money in the bank. Not a bad move there. AMD getting up there to 177. Intel up there to 3360s. Not bad at all. Getting through that pre-market high where I sold. The swing trades are looking great, guys. I'm going to keep those swing trades on. Palantir is the one that's pulling back a little bit this morning. Just want to go ahead and mention that, but still deep in the green for me. We'll see what happens on Palantir. All right, let's see what else is out there, guys. Zap still hasn't reopened. It's at 655. There's Lucid down to the $3 spot. So if I want to take my shot, this is the shot to take it here. Let's see if I can go ahead and grab some here of Lucid and make a nice little trade here. I'm seeing 301. There's a big sizing here. I want to see that get filled a little bit. Let it hit 3. It's definitely a big size in there at 301. I wanted to get close to it, hit it a couple times, and then come right back off of it. So I'll show you guys that right now. I'm seeing it on the depth here. So here you guys see it. You see it right here. That's 101. So I'm looking to see what happens here on this pullback to 301. I'm letting it try to bottom there. Let it hit 301, $3 on the bid, maybe even $2.99 on the bid, then comes ramping back. That's what I'm looking at on Lucid. All right, let's keep going. Oh, look at Zappy Zap opened up, man. Down to 618s. What a move. I think this one's going to move all around today, guys. Be careful out there, traders. This one's going to be a little bit trappy. All right, we'll see what happens on Lucid now. Can it get hot? Can it start making the move? I'm still looking for that 301 click. It did click 301 here at 944s. Looking around. Let me go ahead and throw that back up here. The market depth. You can see that 301. So a lot of times what I'll look for when I see that, right, is I'm looking at the time and sales here also to see what would happen with it. Can it make the move, right? So time and sales here for some bigger orders, and look at the bigger orders showing up in colored. You guys can do this approach also. I think it's an important approach to look into, guys. So if you guys want, I can always put this at the bottom, but this is something that I look at. I'm looking for those big orders, 303, 303, 303, the big orders, right? 304, 301. There was 212,000 that sold there. What was that? That was probably someone that was caught with a big bag of Lucid, cutting it out. So just want to note that so you guys can note and see that. Nice move on MaxN. Let's take a look there. MaxN up there to 34 cents, holding the 29 pullback. We're talking about that in the pre-market, how that could hold the 29 cents. It went right to it. Now back up to the 30 cents. Talked about where I could see this one filling towards 55 cents. So that still leaves 22 cents on the table. We'll see what happens there in MaxN. Lucid approaching that 301 break. Let's see what happens if that person gets filled. You're seeing some action right now. And how do you compare this? Well, you want to see it show up on the time and sales. Some big orders just show up here. So I'm not talking about 3,000. I'm talking big. I'm talking 14,000, something like that showing up here. You see the sizing clicked here. You see some sizing going down. There's another order right below that $3 spot that's big too. So there's some insane sizing on Lucid right now. Nikola back to $10. It got up there towards 1080. So will this one continue? Of course, it's Nikola. It has a lot of resistance above it, but could keep going. We all know how this one doesn't have much left in the actual fundamentals, but that doesn't matter. All right, Zap trying to make the move back here, trying to hold the 640s. Will this one start to make the move back to the upside? There's just both actions on Zap I've seen. So be careful out there with that one. Cost down big, now down to the 1075. So that one's not looking good. IVP down to 230s. ANVS, of course, the best one, holding in 13 right now. Can this one keep going? Definitely could, but I'm not chasing this one, guys. This one's a little hard. Nikola at that $10 spot seems to kind of make sense, but I'm looking at the Lucid right now. It is getting some shares filled right there. You are starting to see that shares start to fill here. I'll show you guys the time and sales. There was some 14,000 right here. You see it right here. A lot of volume starting to come on the sell side of things. Now I want to see if this kind of ticks down and then just starts to move back up in a fast motion. All right, looking around, guys. Cost going lower there. Google trying to hold on that pullback, not looking too great there. Let's go to the sectors in the industry. What's green? Financial services. Banks are coming this week, Friday, for the earnings. Bank of America, nice lift there. Morgan Stanley, nice lift. We were looking at this one, Wisdom with GS, right? Goldman Sachs, look at that. They're continuing to push this morning. Not bad looking moves there. That could be also why you're getting a nice little move there on Mara. But look at Mara now, guys. Look at this, guys. This just tanked after that 21. So, hey, that's how it goes sometimes, team. You get on one, they rose it up, I think it was big shorts actually getting filled there. So Hut is one that I could look at to maybe go short after, right? This is one that I've been watching for a while. It's up on the high end of the resistance. So that's why I think this could at least move back to like 16 with a real takeout. Clean Spark is another one to look at, and look at that. Big downside action coming in there. Mara, we'll see what happens. Now down to 2020s. So, hey, this could really kind of flush down and kind of get down there. 2070 is the way for me to get back into this on a pop back up. Zap starting to make the move there, starting to make the move back here, 650s, 660s, now starting to hold. Will it get in an up hold now? That's definitely a potential move there. Lucid, will this start coming back there? It's trying to fill in. It filled some volume on the downside. Now it's trying to come back. I don't trust this at all. Nikola is just hanging off of that $10 spot. We'll see if it gets back up there, but definitely got some fills today. Zap back to the 680s. Will it get through the 7? There's 690s, $7. Clicking for a second there, 680s. 7 right there on the offer. We'll look to see if it gets back up there towards the 750s. It's pushing fast off of that kind of, it went down, halted, now trying to come back and trying to make maybe an up halt. This one's going to be a shake, that's for sure. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what happens on that Nikola. ANBS there. It's now back to 1266. Starting to pull back there. I can see a pullback coming towards 12 first. So we'll see what happens on that one. Mara's daily is so choppy. It tails all over. Yeah, Noli, just traps all over. That's what happens. It's very trappy. Probably better on a swing trade where you can give yourself like a couple of dollars of risk. XPEV taking a big hit down today. So that means China probably taking a big hit there on the downside. What is it? Yin and Yang? That's the Yang. The China bear 3 times leverage. We'll see what happens with this one. This one's actually one that can maybe watch for a little bit of a pop, kind of a scalp type of play. Is Yang. Baba, how's that one? Getting hit today? Yeah, even PDD is getting hit. So China definitely struggling a little bit. Zap back above that 7, back towards 712. Could get moving there. Lucid towards the 296, not looking the best there. All right, guys, looking around, see what I can find out there. If you guys have a ticker you guys want to take a look at, definitely throw them up. SEDG getting a nice little move back here. Yep, energy is up on the day. Financial services, industrials getting a little bit of a push there. Real estate, basic materials. What is doing well in basic materials? Coal stocks get hot again. All right, let's take a look at some of those. METC getting a little bit of a move. BTU, AMR back up there. So we're going to continue to watch to see what happens on this AMR. It's pulled back to this 305. Could get hot today. Not a bad one to kind of watch. The only thing with this one is the spread. So on AMR, you got to be careful with the spread. The spread is wide, guys. It's about like $2 wide. So it's just a hard name to kind of trade with that kind of wide of a spread. CEIX, another one that's kind of getting the lift again. Off this kind of pullback here. It doesn't look too bad. Also, another one that the spread is just too wide for me. It's about 49 cents. A little bit better here on this one. So maybe a pullback towards 101.05 doesn't look too bad. How's gold doing today? That's one thing I want to look at. Gold on the pullback today. Let's see if it catches some pullback buys. AU is one that I like on pullbacks. That's actually not looking too bad recently. Needs to fill the gap a little bit though. We'll see what happens there. SMCI gave me my money to play hard, and there you guys see it. It's back up there to 900. It went up there to 910. So I'm looking for pullbacks on this, but it needs to come back to the 880 spot here. We'll see if it comes back to that spot. That's right down here. 880s seems to make sense for me on pullbacks. Palantir. We'll see what happens on Palantir. PLTR. It's on the pullback. Can this get right back up there? See, doesn't look too bad there. Google trying to hold in the 190s. Doesn't look too bad for pullback ads off the 1 hourly. You can see how it cut through here, trying to recover and hold this 189. Doesn't look too bad there. How's the Qs doing today? Qs doing not all right. I mean, it pushed, could come back and catch like a VWAP pull. Doesn't look too bad here. Qualcomm getting a move back up there. Nvidia pushing back towards 131. AMD now pulling back a little bit. Got up there to the 177, but a quick pullback there in AMD. Be careful out there, traders. AMD on the pullback today, and maybe comes back and tests this 171. We'll look to see if it gets some buyers to step back up in AMD. Zap halted up now. Wouldn't you know it? It came back to the down halt, now on the up halt. Hey, you know how it is. We'll see what happens on that one. That's going to be a tough chart. All right. What else is out there? Let's go back to, how's the Lucid? Did Lucid start moving back? Nope. Nikola bounced off that 10, getting up there to the 1035s. We'll look to see if this gets going to the 1080s. That tells me maybe Tesla comes back on the upside, actually, guys. So just be careful out there, traders. That's the way I feel. You know, it's holding in pretty well. Tesla's on an hourly pullback. 245 seems to be an area where buyers could have stepped in. Now let's see if it really wants to start making a move back to 250. Tesla going up could be a sign that Zap could keep going. Look at Tesla starting to move right now, trying to hold in after 1, 2, 3, 4 times to try to get through this 245, try to really break down. Now I'd be looking for quick little pullbacks into kind of like the 246.50s, but doesn't look too bad right now as it starts to recover 247. Google, we'll see if it starts to come back through the 190s. That's the layer that I like there. All right, looking around, guys, to see what is making a move. There's Mara starting to bounce back there. 2060 seems to make sense for me on the short side of things there. This went down to 2017. Don't forget it, team. We'll be looking into a nice little conversation, mastering stop orders. So stay tuned for that, guys. We want to talk a little bit more about that. I want to give you guys examples. We're going to go through that. That's around 10:30. So stick around for that, guys. It's going to be a little later today. We'll see what happens here in Mara as the hourly is turning red. I just need a little bit of a bounce here to kind of get short on this name. But the only thing is just be careful because it seems like it's doing this 5-minute range where it could go right back to 2094s and then the next takedown. That's where it gets really difficult. Clean Spark looks a little bit cleaner, just red, red, red. Be looking for a move back above 16 on that one. Hut back towards 17. So you can see it. There's a lot of trap out there in this move. And the big point is Bitcoin. How will this affect these names? It's so important to kind of keep an eye open for. MicroStrategy was bouncing back this morning. We'll look to see if it gets hit again, back to the downside. This would be a crazy trade, trading MicroStrategy. All right, looking around, guys, trying to find some other trades in the market right now. Intel holding well, so Intel looking really good here. Not going to go ahead and trade it, but that tells me to maybe look at the SMH, right? The semiconductor ETF. Actually looking really well right now. Top leads, NVIDIA, Intel on semiconductor, having a decent day there. Micron getting a nice little push. So that's actually not looking too bad. It's already pushing towards 133. There's some stocks that are not doing this bad this morning. TXN on the pullback here. Not looking too bad there. Let me see the daily chart. Actually doesn't look too bad. This actually looks strong. Trying to make the next step up here, especially through the 201.29 resistance. You see 201.68 here. Let's see if it holds this 200. Starts to make that push here on TXN. Not a bad name. All right, looking around to see some other ones. TSM, of course, is one that we can talk about, and we can look to see if this one stays hot. This one has been hot, but it's super extended away right now. SMCI, any pullback into that? No pullback just yet. Just strength overall there in SMCI. Zap reopens, guys. The reopen went down here towards the 740s. We'll look to see if it gets back there towards 8, but this one's moving all over the place here. ANVS pulled back there towards the 12. caught the bounce back towards 13. We'll look to see if it takes the next step up there. That 760 is kind of just shooting all around here. We'll look to see if it goes back through 8, maybe. Lucid trying to turn around here, guys. Lucid finally starting to turn around here. We'll see what happens on Lucid today. This is one that I've talked about for potential squeeze action. A lot of volume above the $3 spot. We'll look to see if that starts to get filled. A lot of volume. And there's bid volume too right before it. So 34,000, 24,000 shares that it needs to kind of blow through. We'll look to see what happens on this one. To move back towards, let's say, 320s is kind of the outlook. So you got to hold tight, man. It's only about 6 cents on the downside action. A lot of volume came in right out the open. That was about 2.7 million shares. So I'd be looking to see if that can actually make a move here. Of course, the Saudis have a lot of money in Lucid, so you never know what could be putting their money in here. Recovery of 3. Now the bid and that offer size that was there moves to 310. So 310 looks like it's an area where it could get attracted to right now. I don't mind it here, guys. I have to go big quick here. So let's go ahead. Let's maybe take 1,000 shares here on a pullback to 3. Let's see. Got the order out there right now, guys, for that 3 pullback. Gonna put it towards 299. Don't mind to see if maybe I come in here with just the smaller size and pullbacks fills. So that's what I'm gonna try to do here, guys. I'm gonna try to get in. Let's go ahead. We go 500 shares here. All right, just grabbed a little bit there at the 302s. Got the order to add at 298s. Order to add 1,000 shares at 298s here, guys. Let's see if Lucid starts to make a move. Of course, this isn't going to be the biggest move, but I'm still looking at it as a potential risk to return. There's Mara back to the 2060. So there's my chance to try to get Mara again, guys. I'm going to go ahead and try to just get a little piece here. The hard part with Mara is that I'm telling you guys, the 15-minute, look how there's wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside. That is trappy there, man. It's just difficult to play here on Mara. I'd like to see a little spike into the 60s here, and then I can go ahead and add. All right, guys, taking 100 shares there, looking for a move to 2060s to really kind of get bigger on this Mara trade, but just had to take it because it was like just key to the way that I trade. This is kind of the VWAP fade off of that VWAP right there, the dotted line you see at the 2060s. So I at least had to get the starter here. Now move back into the 2060s. I can add to get bigger. All right, let's go to Lucid here. Let's see if I can get filled on the pullback there. Lucid pulls back to 3, still hasn't broken that 3. There's still that volume for the move towards the 310s. I can add on the move back through the 302s. Just looking to see what happens on Lucid to see if it could get moving here. Mara in the green, but not as big a size as I wanted to get there. So I'm just looking for one more move back here on the 2060s. There's the cut down back to the 2040s. So not bad. If it just flushes, hey, I'll take that 100 shares. I'll try to make as much as it with that 100 shares as I can. All right, trading 2 stocks for the rest of the month. I cannot even check other stocks. Future, what are those stocks? What are the ones? So I can take a look at those too. Should be about ready for a short. Hey, let's keep getting after it, team. Nice short on Siri. Great, Scott. Not a bad idea. There's Mara down to the 2030, so it doesn't look too bad there. Lucid, I'm about to take my shot here in Lucid, and then I'll keep it really tight, guys. $302s. Seeing Zap trying to get through that 760s, struggling right now. There's the 303 showing up on Lucid. I'm going to put the 301 bid right now. Put it down to that $3 for just a second here. I'm trying to see some shares filling. I still see that 310 as potential move here. So that's going to be that first step up. Probably get in on the market here. There's 305s, looking for that slight tick into the 304s, 303s, and then I can mark it in with another 1,000 shares. There's Mara still going in the green. That's looking great there. Now we're getting that 305 spot there. I'm just going to look for the 303 to show up on the offer. It just keeps pushing here, guys. I don't get my ads. That's fine. There's 306. 310 is going to be the important spot where I do see some size just waiting there. And then we'll see if it wants to break through that trend line, right? If it breaks through that trend line going to the 320s, that's going to be the next spot to look for. Still no pullback fills there. Canceling my ad right now just for the time being. Looking for pullbacks that kind of add into that. But here comes 310s really quickly. $74,000 shares there waiting at that 310. We'll see if that starts to make the move there. Mara down to 2025. So that's actually looking great there. Now can really start to kind of break down below this low here. Going towards a 20 is an important spot. Hourly, look at the hourly. So this trend line really needs to break, right? Let me go ahead and cancel this so it gets a little less confusing. These are daily moves where I'm trying to look at, but really, this is going to be the next move that I'm watching here that I think is important, is this trend line break approach. So just trying to draw it up here for you guys. So you can see how this is kind of that layer where it can bounce and then make the next move towards 1969. So move back to like 2050 is like ad spot for me. That's like the resistance right now. It's trying to break through it here. Can't do it right now. Let's see if it reloads and goes through that 20. ANVS 1430s. Not a bad 5-minute pullback off the 9. So the 5 minute seems to be a good layer for ANVS. So maybe a pullback now on this resistance, the 1350s. But right now, doing pretty well there on ANVS. Zap right back down to 670s. So, hey, it's going to be a hard day there for Zap. Let's just say that for sure. Lucid trying to make the move there to 310s. Hasn't really gotten going here. Came back to the 304 spot there, the 303 for the ad. If I want to take it and then just risk off my entry right now. So I'll go ahead and I'll take that approach here in just a second here. I'm just looking for a slight click off 303s. There's 303s, some 303s filling there. Come on. Mara coming back fast, guys. Gotta go watch Mara right quick here. All right, Thin Lucid just popped above the 304s and then pulled back a little bit. This is where I take my shot here, guys. All right, just added there on Lucid. Now risking about towards the 301. So 3 ticks, really small trade here on the risk side. Looking for it to really get going back through the 310s towards like kind of the 320 area. Could be a layer to really kind of look for the big break. We'll see if it starts to make the move. Mara is one that I'm watching right now for ads. I'm gonna go take a look at Mara. Just rejected that 2050. That's a good ad layer right there, that 2050 spot. So 2040s here, I can go ahead and add there. Let's see if we can get an ad. I'm at 2051. So the closer I can get to the VWAP, the better. But of course, got to be careful with little bounces back. Five-minute could make another high attempt right here, then get that fade off. So I'm letting it try to get to that 2050. That was a nice rejection there. $20.40 is not looking too bad here. Zap just coming right back up there, guys. So Zap 722s. Zap is just trapping all around, guys. Be careful out there with that Zap. Come on. Get up there to the 2050s one more time. Trying to get some ads here on Mara. Do you trade after the show? Yeah, future day trade. Sometimes I do, man. Sometimes I don't. Really, it all depends on how I'm watching the Twins, right? I'll tell you one thing. I've missed out on profits sometimes because I'm not watching it. And so I'm trying my best to like maybe take some swing trades like after the show, right? But day trades, I'm really trying to just nail them here, guys. Zap. Back up there, guys. Zap. Back to the 760s. Let's see if it breaks 8 now. And ANVS up there to the 14s, pulled back for a slight second here. Nicola at the 1089. So the $10 spot on the pullback was really a nice look there. Kind of really got hot. Lucid trying to hold that 305. Let's see if it really starts to make the move. I got my shares there. I got 1,500 shares there. So I have more than enough for the move to make some money. Let's see if it actually makes that move. Mara just holding in off this 2040s. Doesn't want to give it up the 2050 run again, guys. I'm stepping up to the plate on Mara. Now I got 2043s. Got to be a little bit careful because I just put myself at risk here. But the move back up, I can go ahead and size down and then size back up if I need to see it for the downturn. But right now I'm looking for just a quick down cut here. Setting the risk tight here for Mara. I'm okay with losing even twice on Mara and then getting the big move. That's what's important for me on Mara. So I lost 30 earlier. I'm risking like 20 right now, but I still got nice 200 shares. Looking for the big cut down through 20s. There's a little bit of a cut down there. I can go ahead and maybe show you guys my other screen where we got a lot more kind of the action out there that you guys can watch. I'll go ahead and I'll switch over for you guys. Just give me a second here. Let me switch this chart here. Let's take a look at Lucid there. Yeah, Lucid there. What are you guys taking a look at? ANVS. And let's take a look at AMD or Google on the pullback. I like Google on the pullback, so. Google on this pullback now holding in there, making a couple of bottom attempts on the 5 minutes. I'm looking for one more bottom attempt at this 189.50s and then seeing this turn back to the upside today. We'll see if this starts to make a nice bullish engulfing candle through the 190. There's Lucid, guys. Nice little first move here. The 310 is going to come into play here with Lucid. Let me see what I can do here. See if I can make some quick sales. Canceling the stop loss here. It's at the 309. There's some size at 310. So I'm looking to see how that reacts when it gets to 310. It's an important level to watch to see if we can get the breakthrough. You can see the trend line comes into play and that 310 seller just waiting right there. Let's see what happens on this 310. Does it just break through and go to the 320s? If that happens, I'll be taking some profits right into that move, then look for the real breakout there. Let's see what happens here, guys. 310 setting up there. $306 pullback off of that 308 outlook there. So just continuing to watch it right now. Decently in the green right now, but really need to start seeing this kind of get that nice drive. I could run to the profits of like 60 bucks there, but that's really not going to do me much right now. Could take it, right? Smaller gains have been working for me as of late in the day trade game especially. So let's see if this really wants to get that move to 310. $308. You see the 310 right here, guys. I'll show you it right now in a second. Let me actually give you guys the depth here so you guys can see it. See the 310 right there? That's what I'm watching. Can you get through that? Because there's not much after him. See 309 on the high right now. Looking at the offer here to see if we can break through that 310. All right, traders out there, smash the like. We got a lot of you guys joining in on Twitter, joining in on YouTube. Check it out, guys. A lot of traders talking on YouTube. So if you guys want to stay in the conversation, like always, if you're tuning in on Twitter, come over to the YouTube side of things. Check it out. But you guys can always tune in on X if that's what you guys like. But smash the like if you guys like seeing the action, like seeing the positions, like seeing the entries, like seeing the conversation here. That's what it's all about. That's what I really try to give you guys, is really giving you guys complete insight into how I'm trading here. Here's Mara looking for that real break of 20, and then the wash can really start. Can we get it? Let's see. Look at Mara. Look at Mara. Let's go, Mara. Give me that 20 break. Lucid trying its best to break that 310 and holding the 9 EMA on pullbacks right now. So that's what I'm going to be watching, right? The 9 EMA starts to break and we break support, I'm out of this. That's the 303 spot. Right now I have my hand on the trigger to get out if I need to, but just keeping that in mind, right? I have only 304, so I can't risk too much underneath that. Just looking for the real drive through the 310s, and then we'll look to see if we can go ahead and just cash some into that. Even a move to like 322s is like a nice 200, 270. So let's see if we can get this going. All right, guys, Zap still chugging along, but just sideways now off the 740. This could reject. ANVS looking really hot. Let's go ahead and switch screens here. I'm going to show you guys a different screen. So if you guys lost that for a second, you guys will see a screen. Don't worry. You guys will still see a lot of trading action here. I'm going to give you guys a little different. Let me know if you guys like seeing this screen more than my other screen, right? This is going to show you more trades that we're looking at. Here's Zap in the top left. You got ANVS right here, looking at that pullback. Then you got Google starting to turn around. Google alert for me. Now I want to go ahead and get after this Google for the 200 trade, right? So pullbacks towards the 190s seems to make sense here now, towards the 189.80s. So I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback into this spot right below the 190s, towards the 189.70s for Google. Let's see if I can get that. So pullback right here towards the 190 to 189.70s, somewhere in there. I don't mind taking the shot. I've been looking to see if Google would come right back up to that 190, and there it is. Not a bad one to watch there. Lucid trying to make the move. Can't make the move right now. Not liking how it's just kind of slowing up here. So that's one thing that I note always, the slow up. But Google trying to make that move. Let's see if it starts to make that move. Pullbacks right below 190 makes sense for me there. All right, so you guys can see it here, guys. Trying to make that Lucid to make that move, right? So you guys can see even like a target profit back through that 320 is going to be a nice 240s on the upside. Let's see if we can get it here. 308 showing up there. 310s need to break here. I see it. 305s on pullbacks. I'm probably just going to take the money and run. Let's see if this really wants to go. There's 306 on the pullback. It still doesn't really want to hold this VWAP and really kind of launch off. Mara with a nice little break there, guys. So now Mara down to the 2012s. Can I get through the 20s on Mara? Then I'll be able to take some profit here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to set it up here. At least take a nice little 100 reward myself, right? Let's see if I can go ahead and get that break through the 20s, through like kind of 1998 to kind of be a little bit orders out there to get some profits. You guys see it right here. Let's see if we can get this. There's 2009s, 2007, 2006. Sometimes I just move it up because I think I'm being a little bit greedy here. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's move it up there. 2007, 2006. I'll take some profits here. Let's see if I can get the hit here. It's right there, guys, right there. I'm just trying to get some profits on this. I'll move it down slightly for just a second here to see if I can get the cut down through. There's 2008s, 19s. Looking at Mara here, 2008's on the bid. 2007. All right, guys, it's going to take some profits here. Pay myself here. I'm trying to wait here. Trying to be patient. You guys saw me cancel it right now. I'm telling you guys, I'm being a little bit hesitant here because I want the 20, but at the same time, it's only hit 20.05 here. I might be being too picky for that 20. It's got to be patient here. Putting down that 1996, canceling my stop here. Is that just to kind of help it here? Looking for that cut down. There's 20.05s. 20.03s. Now we'll take it. Boom. There we go. Not bad there. Took 20.04s, guys. Took 20.04s. Lucid really not trying to get through that 310 right now. So that's where I got to go ahead and just going to hold to a tight risk here. 302s. Really shouldn't even seen 305s kind of break there. So I'm going to go ahead and set up there. $30 risk here. 302s. If it hits me, it hits me, guys, on Lucid. There's really no need for me to stay into this trade at this point. I've had green for a little while, maybe $60, but let's see if this really wants to move. If it moves for the breakout. If not, it'll just cut me out before it goes to support. We'll see what happens on that one. Zap is still holding in pretty well off the 720s. Some reason it is holding off this 720, so we'll see what happens there. But Mara, nice little cut down through the 20. Clean spark, looking for that to keep going through. Nice fade off of the VWAP right there. Nice little VWAP 16, right back down. Hut is one that I was looking at. Ooh, and that one still hasn't broken. So you know what? So let's go blue 42 Hut over here. This is holding in well. It could come back here towards the 5 minute one more time here towards this kind of like 17, 16, but I see the let go after that. So looking for a little push up to fade off of. So one up, one down, two up, two down, comes it back one more time, fades off to 17, 18. Then we finally get the break right back down through the 1680s. So let's see if I can get that little bounce entry back down. Lucid out there, guys, out on Lucid. Took the small little haircut there, guys. Just not going anywhere. Could have taken $60 on the upside. Really wasn't the, it was kind of one of those trades where maybe I should just cut it out. I was looking at Mara there for a second there. Take a look here, guys. You can see that loss there. It's about way too big for me for not seeing the green there, right? You guys can see it. I'm down about 42 on the day. I'm going to keep battling. Let's see what happens out there. Had about $60 on Lucid, so maybe should have just taken the 60. Maybe played too much of a hero right here on the trend line for the 310. 310 can still go back into play, but just wasn't making the move. I like that you said should pop into more often. Yeah, I mean, it should pop. Like at that point, it had the chance, the momentum to go. It just didn't go. Taking profits on VRPX. Get it, Diego. Looking for a move up to shake Money Mitch out, then a short. Hey, get it, Eric. I won't be mad at you, my friend. A lot of people would probably be upset with that. Be like, what? You're going to shake me out and going to get the money? Hey, get the money, guys. Either way, I won't be mad at you. Just like Bullseye, right? If Bullseye kills it, I'm not going to be mad at him. I want him doing great. I want all you guys doing great. ANVS, now back towards 13. Kind of struggling in there, though. Zap, now back. Went down to 7 really quickly. Now trying to recover that 750s here. Let's take a look at Zap. 720 seems to be in a good area for that it's holding in right now because you can see it on the 5 minute here. Right on this 712. Seems like a risk here for me right now. So, hey. Let's see what happens here on Zap. Pulls back here into the 720s, 712s. Let's see if it starts to come back through the 750s. What do you guys think about Zap? It's holding in, I'll tell you that much. Alphabet back down, but not into that spot for me on the buy. Still looking for that. Lucid still just chomping around that 302. There's that 720s. Went back to the 720, held that for a second there on Zap. Zap equals risky. I mean, it is. It is. Laugh out loud. I was hoping for another pullback and didn't get it. Yeah, it's how it is sometimes with Mara. There's Zap back to the 728s here, guys. I'm about to take a shot in here. Just got to make sure that I risk like a good amount and just keep focused on what? Risk to return, guys. Risk to return always. So 719 is kind of the turn where this candle goes from green to red. And there's the pop already, guys. So a little bit already an extension there, an opportunity there. Could have already had an entry. Looking for pullbacks back towards 720s here, but it could already go. So you see here is just a 5-minute open on this candle is 721. This candle's about to close in the next moment here. So this is going to be an important candle here to kind of keep an eye out for. Had some wick there to the upside. So 721 is the area that I don't want to see it break in this 1-minute candle. It could test that, but if it breaks below that, this candle turns into a red candle. So that's the important thing here. Looking to see what happens there. There's the test towards 719s and all that action. So you got your test here. Let's see if it gets back above this high and really starts to make a move here. 739, zap. What is going to happen with zap here, guys? Good risk to reward around 830, selling it. Where's your entrance on Google and why? Well, let's go take a look at Google right now. A little part of me wants to take a trade here and zap off that 721 because you just got that green candle 5-minute, could tip down, could just start going back to that 739 spot here. So at least you know where your risk is. Really below 7 is kind of your risk. 690s here. Zap moving all around, trying to get through that 739. Let's go back to that Google. There's Google on the pullback. I actually like this pullback for Google. Let's go looking at Google. A little bigger, better trade overall, right? So hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit right now and try to add to this, guys. So I just took a little bit there on Google, looking for really 180, 90s towards this 70s. In between here is where I'm looking to get some more size. I just grabbed 20 shares. It's very small. I do want more, but I wanted to get at least a starter there. So a move back into this spot will get me adding up to even about 100 shares in Google. Let's see if it starts to make a move here. Doesn't look too bad even on that, just that one reload, right? And reload there, right there off the 190. So let's see if it gets back to my spot, a slight tick below, and I'll start really adding into Google. Mara working well there now, guys. Back towards the 20 there on Mara. So at this point, I can go ahead and try to let Mara make some money for me, guys. So I'm going to leave break even right now, looking for this to really break down and keep going down here. Don't want this to even come back now. At this point, I'm looking for a move back towards the next layer of support, which is right around 1950s. So 1950s is a nice little move there, guys, where I could look for the next profit. That'd be about $100 or the 1920 break. For right now, I'm going to have it on the 1920s. If I start to see it get close there, I can maybe move it up there just to take about 100. But looking for this to really kind of break down on Mara. You guys can see it here, setting the stop loss, looking for this to get to the next layer. If I look at the hourly, I'll show you guys it right now. You can see I'm looking down towards this layer. There's a target profit, guys, right there. So looking for this to start coming back down through that. It did do that kind of blow off wick look through 21. Now down towards 1989s. We'll look for it to keep going down. We'll see what happens on that one. All right, guys, that's Mara for me. Lucid back at 303s, went to the 306 spot. So maybe just got stopped out in between that. Got a little bit worried. That happens sometimes, traders. All right, there's Mara down to 1980s now. That's actually looking awesome, guys. So I could look at HUT, right? HUT was one that I was watching for that downside break, and we did get a little pop there that did reject down. So that's actually looking great there for me on HUT. I'd like to see 17s come back here, and then I can start to short big off 17s. But I don't mind maybe taking a smaller trade here and then looking to add to it on any bounce back here towards the 710s and 715s. So I'm going to take a little bit here, 100 shares short on HUT, willing to add on the pops, right? So the starter is just to get the stop in there. Then from there, like now I want to start getting the sizing right. Right. So if it just goes away from me, hey, so be it. There's Mara now 62, breaking down towards 1970s. So big cut down there in Mara. Let's go. Let's go. Google still hasn't pulled back for some ads here. I'm going to go ahead and set some ads on Google just in case it starts to pull back here. But it's at least in the green there. Can't be mad about that. All right, guys, setting some ads out there for Google, of course, down towards the 80. So I have 190, 189 90s, and 189 80s here. You guys can see the ads right around here. So I'm looking for pullbacks on Google to add. HUT just going straight down there, guys, straight down. So moves back to 17. I'm setting up for bigger shorts on HUT. All right, guys, so 17s. We'll start that action there. So I'm going to put 100 there, start moving it up a little bit more. 1705s, I will do 200. And 1710, I'm going to do another 200. 1715, another 200. So pop backs, I'm getting filled on limit shorts for HUT. I'll put you guys HUT right here in the, let's put HUT right here. There's Zap back down towards 7 there, guys. So just be careful out there, traders. Zap is going to be moving all around. Zap could actually, you know, start to break down now, right? I mean, we'll see. This is definitely holding the VWAP off the 7. So that's where it gets hard on Zap. You guys, I'll put the 5-minute chart here. You can see how it's trying to hold this 5-minute chart. It's trying. All right, guys, looking for Google to give me that pullback. No pullback just yet, guys. All right, guys, in a second, we'll be getting into our stop conversation. We'll take a look at stop loss orders. We'll take a look at trailing stops. And we'll also look into a major order that you can be using on Trade the Pool, which is the OCO order, or, of course, the one cancels the other order. Stay tuned for that. Let's take a look here. Zap holding in that $7, just did that fake cut down to the downside. Let's take a look at Zap. Let's take a trade on Zap. Smash the like, guys. Let me see if I can grab this Zap on pullback. 721s on the pullback here. I might take a little starter here just to grab it here, guys. Oh, there's a move there, 740s. I'm adding 100 shares there, guys. Just grabbed a little bit of Zap there at 740s. Pullbacks to 725s is where I want to add here. Let's see if I can get that pullback fill here. There's the pullback. Definitely jumped a little bit there because it was just already going, so I didn't want to miss out. But you guys can see the entry right now. I'm going to go ahead and add it in just a second here. And you guys could watch the money here. I'll put you guys on the 1 minute so you guys can keep up with it. Let's put this big here for you guys to watch the action as I go ahead and get in here. And you guys can see all the action right now. So pullbacks towards 730s, not pulling back here, looking like it really wants to go here. I'm going to go ahead and add one more time for the 750 break. Let's see if we can get that 750 break out here. No breakout just yet, guys. No breakout just yet. Staying off that 750s. Doesn't want to get through just yet. So the pullback is to 720s if I want to look for ads on pullbacks. So I got to be careful there because the pullback could be quick towards 725s, right? Just looking to see if the 750s just want to go here. There's a little movement action. Not much there, guys. So I'm just trying to cut it out here. All right, just cut it out there, guys. Just cut it out as it just wasn't moving much. I'm looking for pullbacks to add here. It tried to hit that 750. It just stopped like a tank there. Now it's trying to make the move. Might have gotten out in between that. You guys watched it. There's the 760s now. Look at, I wanted to add bigger on pullback to 720 there. So I stopped out right there for just the smallest move. Come on, come on. Pull back to the 730s. Oh, there she goes. Might have missed it there, guys. It got up there to the 780s, 770s. So wasn't able to stay in it there. I was looking for a little pullback to the 90 MA to make that add, and it went down in 735s in a hurry. We'll look to see if it gets through that 8, but definitely Zap moving all around there. I kind of screwed that one up there. I should have stayed in it there and looked for the add to the 720s. There's the pullback that I was looking for. This was kind of that trappy pullback to the 720 areas here. There's that pullback there. I'll take a little shot there. At least it's back to the pullback, but you got to be careful with Zap here, guys. Whew. It's moving all around here. Volume came in there, 1 point something million shares there, guys. That is a trappy move there. A little part of me wants to jump in the party, but man, that's a scary wick there from the top. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? All right, let's do this, guys. Let's do a little bit of a position here, and then I'll do an open closed order. We'll take a little bit of a test here. This one's a hard one, guys. I'll tell you the truth. You guys see me slowing down on it. That's how you know. And with so many other positions that I have in the green, it's hard to jump into this because the other ones are working well. Hut went bigger, guys. So let's see if Hut comes back here. It's back down to the 680s. Mara is looking great, down to the 1960s, guys. I might just take the profits and run on Mara. Yeah, let me take those profits and run on Mara. I could hold off on Mara here, guys, but I do want to take those profits and run just because the way that we're looking here, that's such a quick little sweep down. We could get a move back up there, and I'm short on Hut. So if this comes back, doesn't make sense for me to hold it, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the profits here. The way that I'm going to do it, guys, is we're going to learn a little bit of a stop loss order that you guys can be using here. So I'm going to put in here 1980s. And then I'm going to hit this and hit right here, trailing stops. So we wanted to talk about trailing stops today. So now you guys get to see the action of the trailing stop in order, right? Let's talk a little bit about mastering stop orders. Let's talk a little bit about something that we can learn here, right? I could still take a look at Zap, but for right now, I'm just focusing on showing you guys this. Let's talk a little bit, of course, about how you can be mastering stop orders. Understanding how to gain edge over the market makers. So stop order losses, of course, are going to sell a stock when it reaches a certain price. But what I'm trying to do here is do a trailing stop where it adjusts the stop based on a fixed percentage or dollar amount below the market price, protecting the gains, right? So that's exactly what I'm doing it right now. It's about what? It's about 72 ticks in the green and just going to continue to kind of follow the price action and go lower. If the target profit reaches, I'll also take the profits and run, right? So right now it's just kind of pulling back down. It was at 1980s. Now it went down 10 cents. So it went down 10 cents. And what I have a tendency of doing, guys, is adjusting it towards the resistance. So right now as the 73 is the resistance, I want to put it there and keep trailing it down. Keep trailing it down. Keep trailing it down. So when it makes the next bunch up sideways, I can use that next resistance to keep layering this down. So this keeps profits right there, $74, and still gives me the potential for it to come towards my target profit of that 123. So take a look into that, guys. Something that I definitely take a look into. It's not a bad way to approach the type of stop orders that you guys can be doing. And you guys could also look at OCO orders, right? That can be another way of trying to get after it. OCO orders. Now we're talking one cancels the other. You guys do this in the order types by taking a look at this. And I'll go ahead and I'll switch to show you guys the order type action here. There you guys see my screen right back up here. Let's take a look into the action. Learn a little bit more about the stops. Talk about stop hunt. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. Great, Scott. We're going to talk about that. And I think I got stop hunted in that Lucid one too. And we'll get into that conversation. You guys throw in questions that you guys have about stops or anything you want to talk about, right? Zap, let me go to it. Zap back down to the 720s. It's just chopping around, team. This is a hard one to trade. That's for sure. Google on the pullback, guys. We might get some more orders to add on this. So I'm looking at it to see if I can get those add orders in on Google here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at it. I want to show you guys OCO in just a second, but I do want to get those orders in here. Let's see if we can get some fills on the pullback. There's Marathon getting the fill on that push right back up there. So it went to the 1970 resistance, and there it goes, guys. I took the money and ran here. Can't be mad about taking the money. Let me show you guys this right quick. So here you guys see it. It activates right there, triggers off of that, the stop loss, trailing right back up. It just triggers by itself. And so that's the important part for me. It gives me the opportunity for this to come right back down, but it also shows the market makers that I'm there available to come and take those shares, right? And so it depends on if you're on the server side or if you're in the actual market. But to tell you the truth, it doesn't really depend on that, because the algos will work in both ways, right? Whether it be on the server side, it trying to take your money, or it be on the other side. So pay attention to that, guys. Traders out of Mara, took the gains, not a bad move. Hut coming back, guys. Those are going to give me some fills here. Let's go ahead. Let's pay attention to Hut. It is coming back there. Definitely want to go ahead and kind of be careful here as it starts to approach. It's going to try to approach back towards this trend line. The 713 seems to make sense here. So I'm setting up some orders here to get in right towards that 713 and above. So 713, 714s will get me some fills. Let's see if I can get that. 713 just hit. Didn't get the fill just yet, but I'll show you guys this as I start to fill there. And then we can go ahead and maybe use our OCO orders. You guys see it right here. Hut trying to fill there. Another share just got filled there. Have the orders out right above it here. I'm going to give myself a couple pennies on this big order. It's about right here. So you can see there's another 200 there. Trying to build it up towards 1704s. So want to give myself a couple of pennies here for the trend line approach, and then watch this start to cut down. We'll use the OCO in just a second to put a stop price and a profit price, right? In a second, we'll do that, guys. And we can also do it for Google if we get some fills. Just looking at both of those positions right now. All right, coming back here, guys, smash it up out there. If you throw a channel on there, it is finally oversold. Yeah, oversold on Mara. Yeah, it's probably got it oversold on a short time frame. On the bigger time frame, it probably looks like it just started to break down, Eric. So both ways, right? We can take a look at it. Here's Hut trying to get back into that trend line, right? Move back up higher. It could test up there towards this kind of 719, 720, 725. Move back up here towards 1740s, and we know we need to get out. But looking at that to come right back down to the 1675s. All right, let's go Google. We'll see if we get those fills here. Google's still pulling back. Still hasn't really broken here to give me that next fill. There's the fill there on Google. Got one fill, got two fills. Looking to see if I get the third fill back towards the 80s here. All right, guys, so we got about 60 shares here. In a second, I'll start up here, and I'm going to go ahead and set the stop here. It'll be like 189.50s. And then the limit price on the up side, we're going to look to see if we get back to hourly resistance, which is that 192.20s. So even like 191 or 192s could be a perfect profit take. So I'm setting this up here in a second. I'll be setting up this order here, which is the OCO. Just trying to get one more order to buy here. Now it starts to come back here. I still have the 189.80s to add. So I'm going to add in just a second here. I'm in below 190. So that actually makes me feel confident. Here's Hut coming fast, guys. I got to go pay attention to Hut here. Hut deep into the red there really quickly. So just got to focus on this, making sure that I understand what's my risk here. Risk to reward is always important to me. That's what matters the most, guys. I'm setting up here 170s on the risk. So that's going to be a push towards the 34 spot. Don't want to see this get pushed there towards the 38s because that's the resistance breakout there. Even 34s is the resistance. So I can give myself one more penny there. 1735s need this to come right back down here. And there's 1717. Got about 800 shares. So just got to keep this one on the radar. Back through the 17s. It's going to be a big profit take towards 1680s. We'll look to see if we get back towards that 1680s. Just keeping focus on what's important, right? Risk to return as we talk about some stops. Google, let's go back to that. Google trying to get another ad here. Let me take a look quickly to the overall market here. The SPY. SPY is pulling back there. We are getting a little bit of some redness into the market. That's where I think we're seeing it. The Qs are trying to hold in here. So I think we're getting one more decline and then the turnaround. That's what I'm going to be looking for in the Qs. We'll see if that starts to come back and if Google can give me one more ad here closer towards the 77. So I'm putting it down a couple of ticks just to help me out here if I get one more fill. Can go up to 100 shares, so still can add 40 shares there. Hut back to the green there, so that's actually looking good there, that we get back to the green. Sometimes, a lot of times what I'll do here is add and subtract some of the sizing and then get really big. So for Hut, that can be here, a market, sell like 400 shares, and any balance, I add those 400 shares right back. So 400 shares, I go ahead and I take it off, boom, take it off. Now I can go and sell, and I can do a limit right back up there, 17, let's say 20. Where could this be? 17.19, I'm gonna do it. And I put those 400 shares right back there. So this gives me the ability to, that if it does go against me here, at least know I can add and get a better average, right? So we'll see what happens here. But if it just goes in my direction, I stay with the 400. All right, Google starting to hold in there. Still not turning around for me. Back to the upside, but I'm watching the Qs. The Qs are just chomping around. Now we're starting to get a little bit of some pullback here. So looking to see if it can hold here, because a cut down through the 70s is not what I'm looking for now as we start to hold in and the Qs look for that down action. I'm looking for the Qs to turn back towards the upside. Here's the Qs. You can see how you're right off of this kind of bottoming attempt. I want to see this start ramping back to the upside. If not, Google will probably let go also. So there's Hut back up above my entry, looking to get some size add back up near the resistance, right? That's where I kind of got to get some fills. Pushed it towards the 1722s right now, just in case we get a pop. Done trading to slow my heart down. Peaceful Verse, how'd you do, my friend? Took Rivian long, short on CleanSpark. You're happy? Hey, not too bad, my friend. I'd love to hear you coming in here and trading with us. CleanSpark to the downside. That must have not been a bad move there. And Rivian on the long, hey, not bad moves. We talked about these in the pre-market. I hope that you were able to end the day green on those. Hey, it's good to see you, Peaceful Verse, getting after your first day in the eval. Shout out to you. Thumbs up for that, guys. Hit the thumbs up in the chat. Show some love for my man, Peaceful Verse, getting after it. Good stocks there, man. Good stocks indeed. All right, guys, at 10:45, looking at this Hut trade, seeing what's going to happen here. And I see someone in the back that might want to join in on the action. Something tells me the Target trade might be on someone's radar out there. I see the smiles already. Let's get them on here, guys. Tim, what's up, man? How we doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. A little bit behind actually this morning, but I'm already into the trade. So I'm looking to see where I have my window. I should be able to actually share the other screen. Oh, that's not going yet. That's why. But yeah, so I've got let's see, arm long and Tractor Supply short. So I just about take some profit on that. Target, I don't know. I was thinking it was going to fill that gap to the downside, but not just yet, it looks like. So we'll see.
Target. We'll see what happens there. Disney. Is Disney going to come back, man? I heard that movie's been doing so good, yet the stock is doing so bad.
Yeah, I didn't even look at Disney, but they're exactly mirroring Carvana, which is funny. So, yeah. So, it's a great week in Discord. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like the last couple of weeks was rough on a few people because we just had 2 holidays in a row, and then we had, some whipsaw between things as well. So, it looks like it's smoothing out.
I'm adding here on Google, guys. I got about 100 shares, 189.90s. Going to look for that 190s really to start holding here. But let's go ahead and just set a little bit of an OCO order. Tim, we're talking a little bit about some OCO. Of course, one cancels the other order, a way that you guys can be using stops on the Trade the Pool platform, right? So I talked about the 189.50 being the out. On the plus side of things, going to go ahead and look at kind of the 190.50s. We could look at 192 as being the top profits there for right now. So I could set this up in different share size or I could do like the full size, right? Just for the time being there, I'm going to go ahead and place the order there. And I want to show you guys how this looks on the platform, right? So here you guys see it right now, guys. I already have the order out there. Now it's time to let the trade work and see what goes on. But here you guys have it. This is how it's going to look for it, guys. I'm going to put this in auto so it kind of fixes up the spread here and the action here. Let me go ahead and I'll pull this back here so you guys can see it. The limit's up there to the 192. The stop's down here at the 189.50. One will cancel out the other. What does that mean? Well, if this one hits, this one's gone. If the stop hits, the limit up here will be gone. And so what this gives me the potential is to essentially put trades on both sides, right? So sometimes we struggle with putting orders on both sides. Well, this is an easy way to go about it. OCO is available for you right here, the order type, guys. You want to select it and make sure that you're setting it up right? So if you're selling it or buying it, it's completely different, right? In this case, it would be sells on both sides. It's a sell on the stop and a sell on the limit, right? Not a buy and a sell, right? That's the difference here. And it's so important to set it up right. We'll see what happens. Giving myself a little room here. Let's see if this really wants to run on Google today.
Yep.
All right.
And yeah, we get so many questions on that. And if you're in the Discord, we do have a link to the user manual. We have a video on it. And yeah, I think that's one we end up covering in almost every time we have a group trading session there. We walk through it because that is one that comes up a lot, a question there. So
yeah, let's go to one more topic and Tim can talk about it. And we can, of course, talk trades in between this. One topic that is talked about often and in the chat, even 2 seconds ago, talking about it, right? How to avoid stop hunts, right? Strategic placement is one thing that I would definitely note, like here, right? If I set a stop right here, like 189.80s, when the stock is trading at 189.85, it's asking for me to come back and get hit. But a lot of times what we're going to be looking at is, can you give myself the room, right? Strategic placement, setting the stop outside of the typical volatility. That's what helps a lot, right? And so you can do this plenty of different ways. You can use the chart. You can use average true range. You can use a lot of different things. The ADX, there's a lot of directional kind of trades that you guys can be looking at here. But what I like to do is to give myself a little room off the support. If I wanted to set the risk here at 189.80s, I'd be probably putting it down towards the next layer of support here to the left at 189.60s, not expecting that to hit, but having that as protection. If I need to get out at the 189.80s, I mark it out on my own attempt as the stock's coming back, or maybe a limit out as the stock's coming back. That's how I protect myself for a lot of the times, the stop hunts. But like even earlier today on like Lucid, this is clear example where you get stop hunted, right? So I was looking for a move to 310 the whole time. I got in here, you guys see it, had a lot of sizing. And so when it got here, it got a little bit dangerous. So I set the stop at 302. And where did the stock trade to? Right to 302. So things like this, I didn't give myself enough room. If I would have looked,
and I'm actually going to set one up right this second.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'll throw you up right now. Let's take a look at that.
So I'm looking at Dollar Tree, right? So what I see is it's pushing up again. It's got a nice curl. And if I go to the thing here, even I'm noticing, even compared to other things, I was looking for this, right? It's curling up. So I'm looking for that breakout, right? And I want it with size, but that's kind of risky. So what I'm going to do here is just do that little trick where I get a handle on my overall rough risk. Yeah, so I can handle that. And what I'm going to do is just drag this in here. Now, what I can do is I can even, if I don't use the OCOs, right? Tick, 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 right? So even if I get stopped out here and here, that's only 2/3 of my position. And I still have the rest. So if it does what I'm thinking, right, it's worthwhile to me if it does sort of a dramatic breakout. And in that case, I can still make money. You know, there's a lot of angst about, and I might tweak these to put in actual targets here. I just wanted to obviously get my stops in. But there's a lot of angst about like stop hunts just in general. People talk about the 10 tick minimum, right? But that's, to me, that's kind of like the table stakes, right? Like you get that amount of fluctuation, you know, regardless, at least if it's not like a literal penny stock. So if you stop out early enough, partial, right? As long as now the one trick is, right, you want to not necessarily do that until it's after the 1 minute mark. So usually I'll just watch the time that I entered, wait, and then place those, because there's no point doing a partial that early if it goes against me. But I can put those in, and then I can, even with that 10 tick minimum, I can make plenty of money if it does what I'm thinking, if I get out early enough, right? That's the trick, not to be attached to the trade, right? And especially not to be attached to the full size of the trade, I think is the big lesson there. But if I want to change that, right? Like, so if I want that to be the OCO, I can just obviously toggle here, and there we go. So I'll just delete all these and place them again, just to show, we get questions about the speed that you can place them to, right? So I can literally go like
this move on Google, guys.
There we go.
A big move.
So I've just placed, brackets. I've placed a set of concentric brackets, and it took me about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So
stepping up to the plate and Hut, guys, back in 700 shares, 1711 now, slightly by the price action. Remember, my average was 1704 just recently, and I kind of did this like getting out and getting back in. Don't forget about that, guys, that you could kind of mess up the trade there in the eval by doing that, but you got to be smart with the way you're doing it. Right there, I'm getting the ads now, making sure that I'm going for a bigger swing, bigger trade here. We'll see what happens there on Hut. 90s, 190 30s on Google, trying to see this start to break down here. But definitely, guys, giving yourself the room in your stops is a big thing, guys. It's what helps me in swing trading, right? So in swing trading, a lot of the times I'm able to give myself $1, $2 sometimes on this. This is how I get these bigger gains, guys, because I'm letting the trade work for me. And a lot of that is letting the volatility, getting around that volatility by being in a lower share size. The same thing might be for your day trade. Maybe you're just getting too big, and that's why your stop is so close. When it's that close and the natural volatility of the stock, let's say, is like $1 move on 1 minute, and you're setting your stop for 10-cent stop, well, you're not giving yourself maybe enough room there to get the actual gains that you're looking for. So it's very difficult, but something definitely you need to look into. And the real thing is that there's not one way of doing it. It's determining more your position and your timing in those positions. Are you a 1 minute trader? Do you expect to close this in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15? Things like that can definitely play in. All right, with a daily loss of 300, what would you risk on your stops? Well, great Scott, for me, that's going to be more dependent on personality. For me, like, let's say 3 straight losses or 3 losses in a day usually wrecks my mentality, right? And so for me, strikes, I'm old school baseball, man. Strike 3, you're out. So you got to find what's important there, right? Maybe you're a trader that can trade 5 red trades, do a 5-to-1 risk to return, and on that 5th trade, you go green and you're back to break even. Well, then maybe you got to do it towards like $50 or $60, right? If it's 5 trades, right? It's all dependent on your risk to return and how you're going to go about it during the day. Another thing, give yourself slippage. We've talked about slippage before and how that can affect you, right? If I want to risk $300 in a day and I'm only going to risk it in 3 trades, if I do 100 on each trade, a lot of times one trade is going to go to like 120 and it's going to ruin that mathematic advantage. So what I would like to do is maybe cut it down the slightest bit towards like 90 or 85. That gives me a $15 cushion for slippage. Things like this are ways to kind of take a look at it.
Yep. And again, if you can take, wait that 60 seconds, but then after that, if you can take some profit early, do it, because that'll cushion the blow.
I like that mentality.
Reduce your risk. Yeah.
No, I like that mentality, especially because that's going to give you that nice ability to come in and out, in and out, in and out. And I think that's the most important thing that I've been trying to learn a little bit more and more. How can I size in? How can I size out? How can I look for the big move, then take the big swing, right? Because that's really what I think is going to take the step up in my day trading game from, let's say, just being slightly green to that real deep green push. A lot of that, what I've seen, is the sizing and playing within and out of sizing.
Yep. Yeah, so we have, do you have a few seconds I can share what we're doing in the Discord?
Yeah, would love to do it, man.
Cool.
And if at some point, so you can also show the Discord if you want, because
sure.
I know the traders will love to see it and see.
I've been wrestling with my screen sharing today, so I can do that next time. But yeah, so we're doing a new game where on the weekend we're putting out a poll. We're saying which of the 11 sectors do we expect to have the biggest gains and the biggest losses percentage-wise in the week. So this week we've got a lot of interest. For bullish, people are on financials, consumer discretionary, IT, communications, consumer staples, and bearish on financials, consumer discretionary, IT, communications, energy, and real estate. So we'll see how that plays out this week. But that's just the start of how we're looking to try to be able to not just encourage each other and coach each other, but start building on that wisdom of the crowds and our crowd in particular. And tomorrow morning, also 7:15, our own Valerie, aka Boogie Woogie, will be hosting a penny stock poppers session in the pre-market. So looking at what has popped or dropped, especially penny stocks. So she'll be building her watch list and sharing some of her methodology. So you don't want to miss that or any of the other things we have on the Discord.
All right, traders, definitely check out the Discord. We'll throw up another link there in the chat so you guys can join if you're not already joined. And even I jump in there for some times, guys. Jump in there, guys. Jump in, talk to us, reach out to us, ask us questions. Take a look at the trade watch list. You'll find there the sunrise report where I give you guys a lot of information on what's going on in the market, guys. Check that out. I mean, there's a lot of information you guys can be getting there in the morning. I threw up the Intel this morning. That's doing well on the day. How's that continuing here? Pulling back to the VWAP, but we'll see if this goes back to 34s.
Yeah, I love the format that daily watch list has been in lately. It's great. So
yeah, Tim, I try to do my best to, like, if you only had 5 minutes to take a look at what's moving in the market, what has a catalyst, a true reason why it's moving, right? Because if it's just moving just to move, I can't throw it up there because that doesn't give you anything, right? I mean, it's just, it's up 86%. Okay, well, why?
There's a lot of memes about futures being fake, right? Pre-market, same thing. I mean, that move might get sold off if you don't know why, right? So what are the catalysts?
Take a look at that, guys. That gives you guys the information. That tells you guys a lot of times some rating changes, what to watch for this week, like consumer credit, Powell's testimony tomorrow, CPI and PPI come in Thursday, Friday, so don't miss that. CPI, of course, on Thursday, going to shake things up, and the bank earnings this weekend, things like that, right? Those are all things that we need to be watching and understanding.
Yep.
There you go. We'll see you out there, Peaceful Verse. We'll look for your first post, man.
Right on.
I'll be watching for it.
Can't wait to see you.
All right, guys. It's always great to have Tim in here and all you guys in here, guys. Can't believe it, but it's 11:02, guys. We're time to wrap up the day. It wasn't a bad day for me. It was a little bit of a bounce back type of day. Let me go ahead and just bring the filled orders here so you guys can see it. Back and forth type of day, right? And you guys can see it here. I'll throw it up for just a second here as before we get out. But a back and forth. I'm up $4, right? So it's one of those days where I'm spending money, but also losing money. And one of these days like this, it just shows me that I might not be like 100% accurate right now. Like, this is not one of the days where I'm seeing high accuracy. So what does that mean also? Cut losers small, take the winners and run. That's the way I'm thinking about it for the rest of the day. I got Google right now up a decent amount, Hut down a little bit, looking to maybe cut Hut if it keeps going up, right? You can see it right here. There's resistance right above it. There's 721, looking for that to hold, come right back down. And then Google. Wouldn't want to see this go back to 190, but 191 already in play. 192 top gain that I was talking about could move right back up there. I'm going to be taking some gains at 191 to make sure I end the day green. We'll see what happens, traders. Like always, keep battling. Keep up with my man Tim in the Discord.
Yep. And that was just me. That was just me chomping an antacid because these whipsaws this week have been, But you just ride it, you stay with it, you stay cool, and that's what we're doing all day long.
Looks like we need a Tums sponsorship, but definitely it's good to see you guys out there. Hope you guys enjoyed the action. A lot of talk on the playbook today about SMCI and SMCI. Not a bad day at all, guys. Talked about potential run to 900. I mean, look at this thing. Look at it, guys. It's holding well here in the daily candle. Nice little pop off that bottom. These washouts have been really good lately where you're getting these fake washouts. Same thing that happened on the AMD chart, right? The fake washout. I was just going to
say, I never trust people going for the second because that had a big almost meme run, right? Like
Tesla, fake out to the downside, recovery. It's a pattern I'm seeing, guys. It's a pattern that's clearly available to us. Now the only question is, how do we trade it, right? How do we trade it, guys? All right, well, we got to wrap it up. A lot of people looking for us. They're like, where are you guys at? You guys are having too much fun on stream. That's what happens, guys. We'll see you next time. Smash the like, hit the subscribe if you're not doing so already. You're missing out, guys. And that bell to be notified the moment we go live.